watching Business Access TV.
Business Access TV.
Business Access.
Business Access TV.
Serious.
Serious about business.
Welcome to Business Access Television's coverage of Roper Cup 2019. It's the annual football festival between Kingston College and the St. George's College. We're coming to you from the Stadium East Field, where we will be bringing you highlights from an exciting day of football. I'm your host, Kenil Gale. Stick around. Joining me now to kick off our coverage is Dr. Patrick Dallas. He is the chair of the Roper Cup 2019 Organizing Committee. Dr. Dallas, thank you so much for joining us here on Business Access Television. How are you?
I'm fine, thank you, and you're most welcome. And thank you for being here to be part of this great football festival called Roper Cup.
All right, awesome. Let's start by telling our viewers a little bit about the Roper Cup. Give us some background in terms of the genesis of the Roper Cup and the reason the festival is so important to Kingston College and St. George's College.
Well, Roper Cup is symbolic of that friendly rivalry between two great institutions on North Street, Kingston College and St. George's College. This Roper Cup competition goes back to 1964. It's named after Father Jack Roper, who was a Jesuit priest at St. George's. And our founder of Kingston College, that is Percival William Gibson. He actually is a old boy of St. George's College. And we have managed to keep that link between two institutions. We are, we're rivals on the field, but we are very good friends. And the enduring part about Roper Cup and why we want this to continue is because it is important to show that we can be rivals and friends. So, as I said, it started in 1964, so this is really the 56th renewal of the Roper Cup. And this year, Kingston College hosting. We alternate host for the Roper Cup competition. One of the important things about this year too, one of the attractive things about this year too, is that the final match, which is usually the Manning Cup match, is really a replay of last year's Manning Cup final. Right. So we expect to get a lot of interest in this. We expect people to come out and see this as a dress rehearsal for the season that is coming up.
For the season that's coming up, which should be a renewal of the intense rivalry. But talk to me, you said the Manning Cup match will be ending the proceedings this evening. Talk to me about the other divisions that happened today.
Okay, we started with under 14, and Kingston College won that 4-1. We then had the under 16. The more things change, the more they remain the same. Kingston College won 4-1 again. Then we went into the under 35, and that was a 1-all draw. And the over 35 ended again in the 2-all draw. Well, it's interesting because the George Thompson Cup is decided on the aggregate score of the under 14 and under 16. And then the Roper Cup itself is decided on the under 35 and the Manning Cup scores, the aggregate scores. The Pancho Ranking Cup is the over 35. So that cup will be shared.
This is very significant to Kingston College and St. George's College boys, whether present or old boys. Just tell me why do you think it is so significant to the past students, the present students?
Yes, because this is two institutions that have great reputation in football in tradition and always strong teams. So we always see this as a last match before the real season begins, where we can use this match. Both teams see this as the opportunity where they have a final match before the competition starts against another strong team. So it's very important because both teams can use this to gauge where they are in the competition.
Joining me now is a man they call Coolie Pele. I'll allow him to tell you his right name.
Well, popularly called, and affectionately so I take no offense with Coolie Pele, but my given name is Derek Deniser, also called Shastri, from my Kingston College days. So it's Derek Shastri Deniser. And the fans call me all kind of things, whether they are rooting for me or against me. But I've learned at KC not to resist any names given to you, but to just smile and go on.
And with the KC St. George's College rivalry, they probably have called you a lot of things in the days, right?
Yes, a lot of things, affectionately so. And I've grown from when I was a player to a past player to now working with a company that sponsors the competition. And it's been friendly rivalry over the years. The Europa Cup is really the longest traditional feud or rivalry between high school at the football level. And we welcome it every year. The St. Georgians look forward to it. They tease us, they say our headmaster went there and the cup is named after a Georgian. And we tell them that they may be twice as old as us, but we are twice as good as they are.
Talk to me about the importance of the Europa Cup in building not just the rivalry, but the brotherhood between these gentlemen going to these schools.
Well, the rivalry is very important. These are two great traditional institutions, and the tenets and principles that they uphold and have dear to their heart, we try to transmit that to the wider society. Honesty, character, good building. Rivalry and sport, yes, but the aim of Bishop Gibson was to build good men for the wider society so that all of us in the end can benefit. Education is paramount, but then physical activity, a good healthy body with a good healthy mind are as well for the success of the society.
Talk to me about moving from being a player to being a national player to now being involved with the organization and sponsorship of the Europa Cup.
Well, you move on as with age, you are not able to do what you would like to do physically, but mentally you still have a desire so to do. But not being able to do it, we impart it to the young and upcoming youngsters who, I was like them once, and we try to tell them that one day they'll be like us, God willing, they live forever. And to live not only for today, but to live with eternity in view, what we do and say now, and the principles and the values that we are teaching them. These are values that on the road of life, they can guide them and they avoid pitfalls and make the best of their best situation. But primarily for the youngsters still in school, the rivalry is intense. As with age and memories, it diminishes, but the values that we hold there, that never diminishes.
Talk to me about coming on as a sponsor. Why did Qualcare decide to come on as a sponsor for the Europa Cup?
Well, Qualcare, it's a quality product, and we wanted to introduce the drink to the athletic population. It's a good quality drink. Interest is nutrition you can trust, and that is where our interest is. It's primarily Qualcare, the parent company, is primarily a pharmaceutical company. But they say an ounce of prevention is better than a pound of cure. And with good nutrition, you can delay the onset of illnesses that would otherwise occur. So in trust, nutrition you can trust. And Qualcare is proud to be associated with the Europa Cup.
KC has done pretty well so far in the other divisions that have gone so far, with the over 35 still happening now and the Manning Cup matches to come. Who do you betting on?
Well, I'm not a betting man. My heart is with Kingston College, unapologetically so. But more important is for the fraternity, the St. George's and the KC fraternity, to come together, have a good time. I say at the launch, the organizer of this year's competition said it's unparalleled or unheard of anywhere else in the world. Not only Jamaica, where two such great institutions are less than 100 meters apart, and that is Kingston College on the southern side and St. George's on the northern side. But we are two great institutions and we work well together, not only in sports, but also in Labor Day we do joint projects together, pedestrian crossings, and activities that are not necessarily in the limelight, but are just as important as building friendship and friendly rivalry.
So it's more than just rivalry, it's brotherhood.
Yes, of course, because in the end when we leave school, we have to live with each other, and both institutions, our primary aim is to build good gentlemen with sound manners and know how to cooperate with each other, and that should augur well for the wider society.
Joining me now to talk a little bit about his match is the MVP from the under-35 division of the competition, Sanjay Mathura. He plays for St. George's College. Sanjay, welcome to Business Access Television. How are you doing?
I'm alright, thanks for having me.
All right, great. Tell us a little bit about your match today.
Well, my match was very competitive, sun was hot and an enjoyable game.
You scored the goal, so you were the MVP. That makes you feel a little special, right?
Yeah, very special, because it was a wonderful goal, awesome goal from the top of the 18, watching the ball going to the top corner, so it was a very special moment.
What does playing in the Europa Cup means to you as an individual player?
Well, I always display a lot of passion for the blue and white, so it's always good rivalry with KC, although we're brothers across the street, but it's a great deal of history and a lot of football games between each other and very competitive games, glory and defeat, so it means a lot.
Do you think the rivalry between Kingston College and St. George's College makes each team stronger?
Definitely, it makes each team stronger because each year, one winning, one losing or drawing, everybody learns from it and we move forward in our competition.
If somebody is asking why, because you're in the under 35 division, and I figure when you become over 35, you will want to still be playing. For those who are asking, why do you continue to do this?
Well, it's the love of the game, the passion and the love for your school, and you come out and have fun on this day, you come to Stadium East or if it's at George's, and you just come out and have fun, and you see old friends from way back when. It's just fun.
So it's a day of building brotherhood and camaraderie and all of that?
Yes, year after year, because it's already there, so it's just year after year continuing the structure and everything that's good about this day and the Europa Cup.
You played several Europa Cups. Tell me, what was one of your most memorable moments over the years?
Well, I'll definitely remember this one because I scored, but there's so many moments. I could go on and on to tell you, but there's a lot of good Europa Cups that I've been through.
This event epitomizes what true spirit of friendly rivalry is about. And we hope that the camaraderie between the right side of North Street and the other side of North Street will continue.
We take a break here on Business Access Television's coverage of Europa Cup 2019. More when we return.
Business recovery and turnaround services. Dodgen Global will assist you to achieve the best possible outcomes for troubled companies, shareholders, and other stakeholders. Organizations can quickly find themselves hovering on the brink of failure, but with the right early intervention and a constructive approach, it can be possible to achieve a sustainable turnaround. We have the expertise to unveil the cause of problems and find solutions. Our team works cooperatively with management and stakeholders to make assessments about ongoing cash flow and working capital needs. We also assist you with new business strategies, divesting non-core business and assets, and the design of new capital structures. Dodgen Global can help you make smarter, more effective decisions. Let's have a conversation. Contact us at email info@dodgen.global, website https://dodgen.global.
Violence against women is a violation of human rights. Its impact ranges from immediate to long-term physical, mental, and sexual consequences, sometimes resulting in death. It negatively impacts women's general well-being and can prevent us from fully participating in society. Be a better human being. No more violence against women. No more.
Welcome back to Business Access Television's coverage of Europa Cup 2019. We're in the final segment of our highlights package, and the Manning Cup match is on the field. That's between Kingston College and St. George's College. Let's check out some highlights. So we caught up with another MVP. This time it's the MVP for the under-16 division of the competition, Jaheim Johnson. Now he scored 3 goals in KC's 3-1 win over St. George's. Congratulations, sir.
Yes, sir.
All right, how's the match for you?
It was very hard because I have a shoulder injury. I just stayed in the match and do what I coach said.
Hold on, so that's shoulder injury. You scored 3 goals. So if you never have the shoulder injury, how much goal did you score?
I don't really know. I just go there and did my best.
What was it like beating St. George's?
It was very challenging, and it just boosts my confidence to go in the competition and do my best.
Being a part of something with such great tradition such as the Roper Cup, what does it mean for you as a young player being a part of this, where you see so many players from years gone by? You have the Manning Cup team participating, you have masters who are over 35 participating, and you in your own right standing out. How does that make you feel?
That made me feel very happy to see the legend of KC playing, and plus myself playing amongst my opponents, St. George's, and my teammates. Made me feel very happy.
All right, let's talk a little bit about the future. You're a young player with a bright future. What are your plans? I assume you're playing Colts now, so you want to move on to Manning Cup and probably the national team?
Yes, that's my future, to play for Jamaica, to represent my country.
And what would that mean for you to don the colors of Jamaica?
It would mean a lot to me because I'm trying from I was 12 years old playing under 30. I'm doing it for me, my dad, and my family.
Matthew Wilson now joins us. He's the MVP for the under-14 division of today's Roper Cup 2019. Matthew, thanks so much for joining us here on Business Access. How are you?
I'm great.
All right, tell us a little bit about your match. KC won 4-1.
4-1, yeah. Match is very great, kind of competitive most of the times, but I still pull through great.
All right, I take it your teammates were happy with the victory and being victorious over St. George's?
Yes, we're very pleased with the victory and the performance.
To tell me a little bit about your personal feelings, or how do you feel to be a part of the Roper Cup 2019?
I feel very great be a part of Roper Cup because it's a nice competition to play. It's great.
Last season, you're a part of Kingston College Pepsi team. Last season, you guys did pretty well. You're looking forward to the next season and doing better?
Last year, I wasn't playing much game because I was injured. So this year, I'm looking forward to do a great job.
We're now here with Shantamoy Taylor. He is the MVP of the Manning Cup match, and he's representing St. George's College. Shantamoy, thank you so much for joining us here on Business Access Television. How was the match for you?
The match was a great match. I played in patches, but I delivered to my team.
Walk me through the entire game and going up against Kingston College. How were you feeling?
I was feeling a little nervous coming out in the game while the game was playing, and then I started to relax and play my game.
Was it difficult playing against Kingston College? No, well, they had lots of supporters here, so was that at all intimidating?
Yeah, a little bit because a lot of fans and being nice and talking. Okay.
Looking forward to the Manning Cup season. What are you expecting?
I'm expecting to play to my quality and play some good football.
And that's how we wrap up our highlights package of Roper Cup 2019, the football festival between Kingston College and St. George's College from the Stadium East Field. I'm your host, Kenil Gale. We hope you enjoyed our coverage. Pleasant viewing.
show brings the creative industries to life, highlighting creatives in different fields each week. Art.
My life turns art. I breathe, I eat art.
Fashion. Food.
Without a customer, we're nothing but four walls.
Music. Film. Cameo, only on Business Access TV.
Caring Hands Season 3 continues to effect change in a changing environment.
Many of us were raised by grandmothers, right? So, I mean, we know the wisdom that these people have.
Going beyond business.
The little leaders of today are our leaders of tomorrow. And with the proper education, we'll have very good leadership coming from that.
That's Season 3 of Caring Hands, creating change and shaping lives, every Sunday at 5:30 p.m. on Business Access TV.
Business current affairs you can relate to. Frank, credible discussion. On point, dissecting the issues. Offering solutions to Jamaica's challenges. On point, Thursdays at 8 p.m. on Business Access TV.
You're watching Business Access TV.
Business Access.
Business Access.
Business Access.
Business Access.
You are watching Business Access TV.
Business Access TV.
Serious about business.
Serious about business.
Wealth Magazine is back at it again with Corporate Mingle. Today we're here at the Reggae Mill Bar, where executives, creatives, entrepreneurs are here to mix and mingle. I'm your host, Amita Pasadwe. Please stay tuned for highlights.
Thank you to the team from Wealth, and thank you for you being here. We're here to introduce you to the newest way to deal with Western Union. This is the way of the future. This is how you will be handling your Western Union business going forward. It's called westernunion.com.
Grace Kennedy Money Services is in partnership with CME today here at Corporate Mingle. Talk to me about that.
So, Grace Kennedy Money Services is the home of Western Union, Bill Express, FX Trader. Today we're here with CME because we have an exciting new product to push, and this is the ideal target audience or corporates. Because you know what? Corporate people, they're always on the go, they're always moving, they don't have time sometimes to just get to a Western Union location to do their business. So we have a platform where they can stay wherever they are as long as they have an internet connection and they can send a money transfer. That's why we're here, we're pushing that. So woo.com is the name of the website, and it allows you to send a money transfer to anywhere in Jamaica or to 200 countries across the world. Wherever a Western Union location is, you can send a money transfer. You need to send some money, you need to send it fast. Register, go on woo.com, send it. All you have, the only money you spent is that money that you're trying to send. That's it. No credit card fees, no processing fees, no transfer fees, nothing. Zero. And you have to be registered. It's a registered service. Part of registration that you have to do, you start online. But you have to satisfy our own Jamaican regulations, Bank of Jamaica regulations. You have to go into a location with your ID that you registered with to validate. And that's it. All we need to do is to be able to see your ID, see you, and know that you are who this ID is. That's it. Once you've been validated, you never have to go back into a location to receive money ever again.
It's Corporate Mingle Networking with a purpose. We're here today at the Reggae Mill Bar. Talk to us about what's happening.
Alright, so this is our fourth staging of the corporate mingle, and this is the first time actually coming to this location. We have a mixed crowd because we have Bumblebee as a sponsor, we have Grace Kennedy, Western Union, Business Access TV, and of course Adam and Eve Day Spa. So we have a very mixed crowd. We have mature, younger persons here. It's always a new venue, so we can try something new so persons don't get used to the same venue and it's always here again. It's always a new place, preferably somewhere hip, as you see Reggae Mill is where all the festivities happening now for the young people. We have different networking games. We have our wonderful host, as usual, Amisa. So we try to keep it interactive, get persons involved, talking to each other, mingling, networking. Of course, drinks flowing, so people flowing, conversations flowing.
So talk to us a little bit in regards to what exactly it is that Bumblebee does.
So Bumblebee is a digital media agency, so we look at what we can consider traditional digital media, which is the Facebook and the Instagram and the Twitter and Google, of course, but we're also into programmatic, and definitely the leading product that we offer is Wi-Fi advertising, which is new to Jamaica. So we are partners with Growth Tech, and they're committed to making Wi-Fi like oxygen. So we're committed to helping brands build brand loyalty by helping to make Wi-Fi like oxygen, by partnering and sponsoring that Wi-Fi. So we're the leaders in that regard. We have amazing click-through rates, which is above every other digital platform that is currently here. So we are seeing click-through rates of between 10 and 30% and lead generations of over 30%, which is not heard of in the region. So this is really something big that brands can and should get into.
I've been here for a very long time. We've been building our product for the past 3 years, and I've been coming here, building networks, building my social network. So this is not my first time I've been here.
Tell me about your business, Intranet Solutions.
Intranet Solutions, we offer social Wi-Fi to businesses. So instead of persons signing in with a passcode, they use their social media handles. So they use Twitter, Instagram, LinkedIn, whichever handle is there at the time. Once persons sign in, companies get their demographic information because they would have approved and allowed for you to get that information. So it's a way to build on your marketing list and a way to improve your business overall.
Talk to me about O'Shane Bryant Fitness.
All right, so O'Shane Bryant Fitness, we don't have a fixed location. We're predominantly at UEMONA campus, but of course we're a fitness entity that's geared towards giving Jamaica the most affordable health and fitness lifestyle. It's a lifestyle, and not a fat thing.
Well, it's my second time coming to a mingle. I'm really enjoying it. Perfect place to mingle, to get your business out there and learn about your peers and what's going on.
It's that time where we bid you farewell. Thank you for tuning in to Business Access TV and our coverage of Corporate Mingle here at the Reggae Mill Bar. I've been your host, Amita Pasad Webb, and you're watching Business Access TV, serious about business.
Career Moves has always explored interesting careers, highlighting all you may not have known about them. This season is no different.
Coming back to Jamaica, everyone's like, Fizzy what? Fizzy who?
When you find a bright boy or girl in the class and they say, what are you going to be? The parents say, you have to go be a doctor, you have to go be a lawyer. Nobody says you have to go be a politician.
Let me see your hands!
Tune in Tuesdays at 8 p.m. on Business Access TV.
They say it takes a village to raise a child, but the world will one day need the leadership of that child. The time you spend with your child matters. It stimulates their minds and shapes the way they act. Talk with your children. Help them to better understand the world around them and to value what is truly precious. Above all, the most valuable gift you can give them is love. Play, talk, teach, love. Take the time. It makes all the difference. A message from the Parenting Helpline and Ad Council Jamaica.
Always available to who needs to be available to.
And wouldn't it be safer in the hands of a government as opposed to a private entity, really, your information?
Yes, because now, the government will be held accountable and people will now have a recourse. Certainly,
as part of it being in the Data Protection Act.
So, Mr. Sterling, what are the projects now specific to eGov that are being worked on and to be rolled out so the government, I beg your pardon, the public at large can see and feel and get a better experience?
Well, the two major projects, the CEO touched on them earlier,
Mm-hmm.
and that's GovNet, the government-wide ICT infrastructure to connect government entities, and the data center upgrade.
Mm-hmm.
Right. Those two are essentially geared towards improving service delivery of government. So the citizens are real, raise that they might not see what is happening in the background.
Right.
They will feel that improvement. They will see that improvement
Well,
in
give us
services.
some examples.
So for those of us who go to the tax offices to pay taxes, you would have seen the improvement.
Yes.
You would have seen the productivity and efficiency gains there. I mean, that again is because of the work we do on the back end. So whereas we don't interface directly with the public, the services that we provide to the entities that then provide services to the public, is felt.
Mm.
Again, you can look at customs.
Yes.
And the whole paperless, trying to make that, experience a lot smoother and frictionless. Again, those are some of the projects. You look at the HR system, the
Yes.
GOJ-wide HR system that is being implemented now. Again, that will not just save the government a lot of money, but hopefully, improve the experience again from the customer having to interact with those systems and from the people who then having to interact with those service providers.
Let's pause here for a moment and show you firsthand how the public sector is making the move to the digital age.
Transformation is about creating a public sector that can adapt to a radically changing environment to meet the needs of the 21st century citizen. And that's exactly what the Public Sector Transformation and Modernization Program, PSTMP, has been doing right here in Jamaica.
Public Sector Transformation and Modernization Program is a government-wide initiative managed by the Office of the Cabinet. The program encompasses projects which build the capacity of workers and provide support and direction to ministries, departments, and agencies to enable them to deliver the highest quality of services to people who do business with the government of Jamaica.
One service being transformed is the registration of businesses at the Companies Office of Jamaica. In times past, business or company owners had to go through several tedious steps to complete this process.
The customer would come to the company's office to register a business name. Then he or she would have to go to the tax office to get an NIS number. The transaction cost, the travel cost to do that was high. The time to register a business name was high as well.
In 2008, the Ministry of Industry, Commerce, Agriculture and Fisheries implemented a one-stop shop program. And in 2014, the Business Registration Form, or BRF, was developed.
You complete the business registration form, more popularly known as the super form. You submit it to the company's office, and once you have done that, once the application is approved, then you are not only registered with the company's office, but you're also registered with the Tax Administration Jamaica. So you get a TRN, Taxpayer Registration Number. You're registered with the Ministry of Labor and Social Security, so you get an NIS number, and you are registered to deduct contributions on behalf of your employees for NHT and Hard Trust. So with the introduction of the super form, transaction costs were cut significantly, as well as the time to register. And it was more convenient because you just had to come to the company's office and you'd be registered with all the other business startup agencies.
The BRF has significantly reduced the amount of time to start a business, from 6 to 4 days for a company and 4 to 2 days for a business name. To date, approximately 50,400 business names and 14,000 company names have been registered using the form. But it doesn't stop there. In April 2014, the Public Sector Transformation Modernization Program team started working with the COJ to develop an electronic version of the manual business registration form, the EBRF.
The electronic business registration form is just to allow persons to register their business names from anywhere in the world that they are. So they don't need to come into the company's office. They can stay whether they're at their homes or in their offices, as I said, wherever in the world they are, and register their business names. You can find the EBRF form on our website. The website is www.orcjamaica.com.
All that's needed is reliable internet access, a subscriber account with the COJ, an email address, a scanner for uploading documents, and information to register your business or company name. And for those who may not have access to a computer or internet service, the EBRF will be accessible through kiosks set up in revenue service centers across the island, as well as at the company's office in Kingston.
So the kiosks are really set up to allow persons who do not have internet access otherwise to register their business names online. And they will be using the electronic business registration form that is just an electronic version of the super form. There are 3 kiosks that will be placed at revenue service centers in Montego Bay, in Twickenham Park, and in the Constant Spring tax offices. Those are the first set. There will be other kiosks in the future.
Once you have successfully registered your business or company name on the COJ website, you will get an update within 2 days. A notification will be sent to you via email that the COJ has completed the registration of your company or business name. The email will also include an electronic copy of the certificate of registration. You can then arrange for the registration certificate to be sent to you by courier, or you may pick up the certificate at the company's office.
The international investing community as well as the local investing community, they look at the World Bank's Doing Business Index, in which it ranks country according to the seamlessness of doing business in order to mobilize investments. When an investor is thinking about investing, they look at that index. Now, the company's office plays an important role in the mobilization and creation of businesses. And one of the things that we want is to create business as efficiently as possible, because entrepreneurship is important to economic activity and the acceleration of economic growth. The company's office has space constraint, so they much rather people not come into the office in order to register their businesses, because it's a more efficient process. And that is why the electronic registry is so important, because we need to create more businesses in order to accelerate economic growth and to create more jobs in order to improve the quality of life of our people.
The Public Sector Transformation and Modernization Program, PSTM, will continue to increase public sector efficiency and satisfaction, making Jamaica the place of choice to live, work, raise families, and do business. The EBRF is a project of the Public Sector Transformation and Modernization Program of Government and the Company's Office of Jamaica. The project is funded by the Inter-American Development Bank under the Public Sector Efficiency Program.
For more information on the electronic business registration form, you can go online, www.orcjamaica.com. You can email us at costsupport@orcjamaica.com, or you can call us at 908-441-9223.
Register your business online, register your business
from anywhere
anytime.
in the world.
It's easy to register your business or your
Register your business at the Company's Office of Jamaica's website, orcjamaica.com. A message from the COJ and the Public Sector Transformation and Modernization Program of Government and the Inter-American Development Bank.
We pick up with eGov Jamaica Limited as they share more information on the build-out of the state's IT infrastructure.
Let's get down to some nitty-gritties then in terms of data connectivity and what eGov is doing to ensure that there's a seamless process there.
Yeah, I could speak to that. We are currently working on a project to implement what we call JDXP, it's the Jamaica Data Exchange Platform. What this platform is, it's going to be a secure, fully redundant platform to allow the sharing of data and the transmission of information between entities within the government, as well as for approved private sector use. This is similar to looking at the Estonian model. In Estonia, they have what they call X-Road. And this is what basically their government is built on, which promotes a secured sharing of information. When our data protection law takes effect, the platform will also facilitate that particular act in that it be able to monitor who has access to what data and to ensure that only persons who are authorized to access data can access data. If there are any breaches, those things can be detected on this particular platform. So it's something that we're working on. It's fully homegrown, and we, certainly before the end of the financial year, we'll have a version of it.
Wow.
It's also going to be the start of what we're looking at, what we call a once-only policy.
Yes.
Where we want to move to having information or data within government that only the owners of that data will be responsible for maintaining that data. So for example, and I think when it is that NIDS gets implemented, the personal information that's in NIDS will only be stored by NERA, and no other entity within government will be able to store that information or maintain that information. If you need that information, you'll have to access it. So in other words, when you do business with the government, the information that you give to one entity, you'll not be required to be able to give that to each and every entity multiple times. We're also looking at solutions for citizens as well, so talking directly to the citizens. So one of the major projects we're looking at right now is to have a sort of a e-participation, e-engagement mobile app and platform for citizens, which will allow citizens to interface with government, give ideas. They'll be able to submit issues and concerns. If you have potholes on your roads, if you have missing street lights, garbage collection, etc.
And certainly we'd expect that the response time then would increase and improve.
Exactly.
So efficiency
this is
all
something
around.
which we want to bring in all the stakeholders across GOJ to be a part of that platform. And that's something that we're coming out with very soon. There's the Tax Administration of Jamaica. We're also working with them on a mobile app as well, which will allow, like you said, paying taxes much easier. We're working with National Security.
So I could pay my taxes from my cell
That's
phone
correct.
and credit card,
within
and
a
that's
couple
it.
of weeks, you should be able to go on and do your property taxes, and then we'll roll that out to traffic tickets. We're also working with the Minister of National Security, with the JCF as well, on other mobile capabilities for the police force. So we're doing quite a lot at eGov. We've recently started to build out an innovation lab to sort of focus on these more citizen-centric applications.
In closing then, let me start with Mr. Sterling in terms of looking at really this possibility of a digital society and how soon we can get there.
The foundation of that is connectedness. And that's why you're here, we're talking about governance. If people are able to connect, entities are able to connect, then, we want it to be where that you can sit in the comfort of your home and do your business with government, right? For us to get there now, we have to have that infrastructure that facilitates that interconnectedness among all government service providers so that we can share information, share databases, and make that experience available to the public. I couldn't give you a definite date. There are projects that are in executing phase now that will make some of these services come online faster.
Mr. Freckleton, I come to you because everybody always talks about security, security, security. And so as we close, your last words on this issue of security and ensuring that our data is protected as well.
I think the citizens can be assured that at eGov, we are doing everything that needs to be done to ensure that the data that we hold is secure.
All right. And so, CEO, you get the final word, For those who are skeptics, really, what would you say as we close?
Well, first, certainly, digital transformation is not an event. It's a journey. And the most important thing is that we've started. We're on the road, and we're heading in the right direction. And I think what is required of us right now is to just maintain that focus and continue to roll out, and also to keep the citizens as a focal point and let the citizens drive that transformation in terms of what services are rolled out to them.
Absolutely, I like that because it has to be a responsive approach as well.
That's correct.
The citizens, in terms of getting the services to them, but also hearing from them
Yes.
in terms of how we tweak and improve the system. So thank you so much. eGov is doing so much work that so many Jamaicans don't realize, but I thank you all for the service that you do. This has been another edition of OPM Connect. Join us next week for another very interesting discussion.
And that's all the time we have on this station, but only for today. We return tomorrow with another program packaged with you in mind. Be sure to join us online. There's gis.gov.jm, YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, and of course, there's Twitter. We also have a free mobile app that's available for download in your app stores. On behalf of the entire team here at the GIS, I'm Adrian Atkinson. Do take care.
This has been a production of the Jamaica Information Service, the voice of Jamaica.
Have you seen it? It's BATV Live. Live streams of business news weekdays at 7:30 p.m. Stay on point Thursdays at 8 p.m. with our Business Current Affairs show and Weekend Business Report Saturdays at 7:30 p.m. wherever you are. Log on to our Facebook page at Business Access TV or visit our website at batvja.com. Live and at your fingertips. Business Access TV. Serious about business.
You're watching Business Access TV.
Business Access TV.
Business Access.
Business Access TV.
Serious.
Serious.
Serious about business.
The Mona School of Business and Management hosted its 4th business conference at the Jamaica Pegasus Hotel, and Business Access TV was there to bring you the highlights. Stay tuned.
Welcome on behalf of the Mona School of Business and Management to our 4th biennial conference. We're here to discuss delivering on the promise of entrepreneurship, and it is critical at this juncture that Jamaica in particular and the rest of the Caribbean have been going through all sorts of structural and fiscal and monetary adjustments. These are necessary but not sufficient. And entrepreneurship is clearly one of the ways in which we will capitalize on a more robust financial platform that we have. And today we'll be looking both at research and examples from the Jamaica, the Caribbean, and the global audience. In that context, I would like to welcome all our visitors and presenters who have come from the Caribbean, the USA, and Europe, and I'd like to thank you for attending. We look forward to having very interesting conversations over the 3 days, and as has been our custom, to have generated research and publications arising out of the conference to advance knowledge. Our goal is to provide a link between the academy and the business community in a more direct way than other faculties and departments at the university. I therefore welcome not just this interaction between the school and the wider community, but we hope to use it as a springboard for even better partnerships.
I've noticed that the title of the opening plenary is Entrepreneurship, Innovation and Growth, Unlocking the Potential in the Jamaican Economy. So I presume that within that is the message that entrepreneurship and innovation have something to do with growth. And it's a fair assumption. And that is perhaps why we are being told by the Economic Growth Council to unleash our entrepreneurial spirit. We are being told by the World Bank to become more innovative. We're told by various members of the political directorate to take more risks and invest in new areas. So it would appear that there is a growing perception that there is, in fact, a link between entrepreneurship and growth. The private sector organization of Jamaica and the Jamaica Bankers Association are finally reaching out to small and medium-sized entrepreneurs to get them to formalize their operations. So all of this is good. I think there's an energy that is starting. Unfortunately, that has happened before, but there is an energy that's starting that we need to keep going. And we need to understand that or figure out whether it is a magic bullet or it is the beginning of a new paradigm that must be adopted by all of us across the board in order for us to secure mature development as a nation, as a society. I think we need to take a look at the historical context of our country so that we understand not only where we are or we got here, but we can try and use it to map where we're going. But before I do that, I just wanted to give a commercial plug for the efforts of the Jamaica Bankers Association and the member bankers for the initiative to allow access to finance and to encourage access to finance for the SMEs and the medium-sized businesses. It's important for us to understand that the current definition of an SME is a business entity having between 1 and 50 employees and an annual turnover of less than $150 million. So that is the spectrum of enterprises that we at the PSOJ and the JBA are trying to capture. And the aim is to bring greater awareness of this SME sector to the extremely numerous and detailed programs that the government's access to finance agenda has established since 2016. And also, we want to provide input and support for the adoption and the expansion of the access to finance program across most of the stakeholder sectors through a process of education, facilitation, and familiarization. So the project has two streams. It has the access to finance stream, and it has a reverse factoring program, which is being developed in conjunction with the BDJ to enable small businesses to better manage their receivables. Cash flow is extremely important to small businesses, and we need to assist them in their management of it and in their collection of their debt. So the hope of the program is to foster better relationships between the banks and the small businesses, to simplify the credit processes and to make them easier and more transparent for the small businesses. We want to train the MSMEs, which is the term, in formalizing, regularizing, and structuring their business processes and to allow them to unlock additional capital to allow for their business expansion.
So as we contemplate how we can deliver on this promise of entrepreneurship in the Caribbean region, in our own Jamaican nation, I invite us to consider those factors which may possibly be standing in the way of us unlocking and unleashing our entrepreneurial potential. As a region and as a nation, we have a reputation of being a creativity powerhouse. We pride ourselves in our ability to come up with creative, original new ideas, and we often proudly hail our national mantras such as Tanya Han and Make Fashion, which speaks to our creative national problem-solving abilities, which allow us to turn any obstacle into an inventive opportunity. Simply put, we are just naturally creative, imaginative, and innovative people. And throughout our history, as a region and as a nation, our creative outputs and our ideas have always garnered global attention. However, in spite of our creative prowess, we seem to have failed to translate our ideas into generating high growth, high worth, high impact entrepreneurial ventures. And so I ponder the question, why do we think that is? Why is it that as a nation and as a region, we have been a plethora of creators in our island, but a dearth of successful entrepreneurs. So to examine this question, I invite us to consider the distinctions between the definitions of creativity and entrepreneurship. Now, the Webster Dictionary defines creativity as the ability to make new things and think of new ideas that we do well. However, it defines entrepreneurship as an entrepreneur as one who organizes, manages, and assumes the risks of a business or an enterprise. I submit that this is the critical differentiator in this definition between who an entrepreneur is as opposed to who a creative is. In that an entrepreneur is somebody who has to and must take risks. This distinction between these two definitions is important because while we as Jamaicans are a naturally creative people, we need to consider the question, are we naturally entrepreneurial? Are we naturally risk takers and risk makers, or are we risk averse? In the results of the indices from the Global Resilience Index, which ranks 130 countries around the world by the risk and resilience of their business environments, based on certain factors such as economic indicators, risk factors, and supply chain issues, Jamaica has consistently ranked in the bottom 30 of 130 nations in the study. This might suggest that our national distaste for risk is well founded. However, if left unchecked, our risk aversion will continue to be our entrepreneurial Achilles heel. So, why is it that as a region, we're such risk averse people? Why do we shy away from risk? I believe it's in part because when we think about entrepreneurial risk, we tend to only focus on the downside versus the upside of risk. A close examination of the term risk suggests that it refers to the effect of uncertainty on meeting organizational outcomes. However, while the effect of uncertainty as an entrepreneurial venture can be both negative and positive, we often only focus on the potential negative effects of risk and uncertainty to the exclusion of the consideration of the positive potential opportunities which risk and uncertainty can also provide. In my opinion, an entrepreneur is someone who sees the future and then sets out to create it. However, creating the future means stepping out into the uncertain and the unknown, and stepping out onto the unknown is risky. Oftentimes, however, when risk-averse entrepreneurs think of the word risk, what comes to mind are only those potential dangers, threats, and negative consequences of undertaking a venture. What if I can't pay my bills? What if a competitor beats me to the market? What if I invest a huge sum of money in the business, but I can't attract enough customers to cover my costs? I submit that this is a flawed view of the concept of risk. To the contrary, as we seek to unlock and unleash our creative and entrepreneurial potential as a region and as a nation, we need to begin to acknowledge that risk and reward are two sides of the same entrepreneurial coin. Consequently, without an active emphasis on entrepreneurial risk taking and risk making, we will fail to see the rewards of generating high growth, high impact, high worth entrepreneurial ventures.
Just to give you a little background in terms of what the DBJ does. The DBJ really, the focus as a development bank is to really improve the lives of all Jamaicans through development financing, capacity building, PPPs, and privatizations. DBJ's role in building the economy, in as much as Howard just mentioned that because of factors, the state has had a big influence on the economy. DBJ's role, the philosophy behind it, is really not to be competing with the private sector or to take the place of the private sector, but really to fill the gaps where they exist. And so over the many decades, DBJ has been involved in lending through the AFIs at affordable rates when interest rates were at sky-high levels. Putting in place collateral guarantees for good projects that did not have sufficient collateral to access loans. Things that Ignite program grants for innovation, which coming up with a reverse factoring, there is capacity building of our entrepreneurs, and the work that I'm doing, which really was focused on access to finance, access to equity finance through the Jamaica Venture Capital Program. When we established the VC program, the whole point was that we originally thought about it as being access to finance, but pretty quickly recognized that it was wider than just money. We had to be building the ecosystem. Everybody had to be ready for a market. Any market has buyers, sellers, as well as the infrastructure. We had none of those in Jamaica, so we had to be building that infrastructure. So it was really a multifaceted program that was developed, training and capacity building. Our fund managers or investors had to be trained, or fund managers or entrepreneurs, our lawyers, accountants. So there was a lot of training. We also put in place the infrastructure to build, for first funds to be started, as well as there are a number of legal, regulatory, and tax issues which have to be addressed. And most importantly, the entrepreneurs, the deal flow has to be there. So in looking at building an ecosystem, we had to be cognizant of, as I mentioned, all the various things. Who are the players? How are they going to be exiting the stock exchange? I know Marlene is going to be talking about that shortly. And, entrepreneurship, as well as what's happening with the SMEs and who are what is the support infrastructure. And we took a lot of lessons. We didn't reinvent the wheel. We took a lot of lessons from what happened in Latin America as they were building their private equity and venture capital ecosystems.
I'm 36. I'm a husband, a manager, and still very good looking. In 2 hours, I have the most important meeting of my life. But first, it's time to play. The new Suzuki Vitara.
It's season 12, and Wealth Magazine Business Access is here to keep you business savvy. With an impressive mix of some of Jamaica's most inspiring business moguls, we continue to keep Jamaica informed, empowered, and ready to dominate. Tune in Sundays at 5 p.m. only on BATV.
You're watching
Business Access.
Business Access.
Business Access.
Business Access TV.
Serious about business.
So I just wanted to just tell you real quick about the IDB Lab, just to put in context where we sit and what we are doing and how we could unlock the potential for entrepreneurship and innovation in Jamaica, even further than we are doing now. I like the way we started the panel. So we started off looking at the research, because research and development is very integral in all that we have to do as SMEs and entrepreneurs and when we're taking on innovation. We looked at the risk approach to it, smart risk taking. We also looked at our history, where we're coming from, because culturally that's still going to be ingrained in us. And then we looked at the capacity building and all the different elements that's needed. So I want to take you through unlocking that potential that's there, and first introducing you to IDB Lab. So IDB Lab is a part of the IDB Group. We serve over 650 million persons across the world. We are a part of a group with IDB Invest. IDB works with the government. IDB Invest works with private sector, and then IDB Lab works with different corporate entities, civil society, NGOs, towards solving developmental problems. I'll go back to what Mr. Mitchell had said about inclusiveness. That's what IDB is all about. We are innovation lab looking at inclusive solutions for Latin America and the Caribbean. We create market-driven solutions. So we look at what the market is doing, what the needs are, where the gaps are, and we work along with the private sector to create those solutions. We also look for what we call transformative impact. How do we create what we call 10x impact, greater impact than we have seen before in the projects that we're looking to do? And we're very focused on vulnerable society. This is the inclusiveness that Mr. Mitchell was talking about. Where does the poor and the disabled and those persons who don't have access to goods or services, how can we help to solve some of those problems, elevating those persons, improving their lives so that they can be contributing to the growth of the society?
So I mentioned we work with private sector in creating these projects. They're the ones who are executing on the initiatives. But I'm going to start with this slide, which is the JSE Market Index. And it is an index taken from Bloomberg yesterday, which really shows that point to point from last year, this time to this year, the market index has gone up by 61.76%. And that is showing you really the power of what happens when businesses are financed and the value created at each stage. So you can see that the index speak about companies and the value that has gone from point of last year to now is an increase of 61.7%. Year to date, 27%. I'm going to share a little bit with you as to why this could happen. But let us talk about the stock exchange group. We are 50 years today, this year, and what we did, we set out to ensure that there was confidence in the market by forming the Jamaica Central Securities Depository in 1998. And in order to broaden the services of the financial sector, in 2008, we formed the trustee division. And this is in order for persons to have confidence in the market when we talk about funding. When we talk about access to equity capital, one of the main pillars is confidence in the market. So the idea of the stock exchange is that we can raise equity, and that is, having shareholders in your company, but also debts can be raised on the market as well. And every once in a while, we do have some simple innovations that allow for markets to grow and for persons to get money and to grow their business. And so in 2009, we created the junior market, and which shows a collaboration between government and the private sector, which offers, because persons have asked what is offered to incentivize businesses to grow, to access capital. And we have the junior market where, with the government's collaboration, we have a 10-year corporate tax holiday. We also have the support of the depository, as I said before, and we are in 40 clients in 5 CARICOM states. So we are all over the Caribbean. What is our market performance? For the main market, we have 55 companies as at June, and 55 securities and 42 companies. For the junior market, because we have the junior market, as I said, as at June, we have 41 companies. So the companies have come to market and have grown, and representing 38 securities. And we do have a US dollar market also, and that is growing too. So we can see that people are considering as a credible option the stock market to raise capital. Why would you want to go public? Public, and when you talk about going public, it's a serious situation. It is one of disclosing your business to all concerned. And many persons are reluctant to do that. But more and more, we are seeing, especially small and medium sized, understanding that it is not so bad. When you come to market, you get these various benefits, enhanced profitability and viability, and assess more about this company. Is a larger pool of well-run, profitable and compliant, because compliance is important. And there is a wider pool of investors. When probably 5 or so years ago, you had less persons willing to invest in companies that come to market. So you would have probably 20, 30 investors in any what is called an IPO. Now we have thousands of companies. of investors that will invest in companies. So for those persons who are business people, don't be afraid. Persons will invest in you if you have a credible idea and a good plan. We have seen on the level of the macro level that employment has increased, and it is a sustainable economic growth because of that.
Stop for a second and think about an incentive where you get 100% relief on your corporate tax for 5 years and 50% after. And you have in excess of 2,000 companies registered at the company's office. And we only have 40 since we have opened a junior market. It speaks to a bigger issue. So I have 3 minutes and I just want to touch on two quick things. That bigger issue is that significantly more education needs to be given to owners of these companies. We spend too much time trying to hide revenues, etc., in so-called getting a lower tax rate, that you're impacting the value creation, the revenue expansion of your business. So we need to find a way to get to more of those entrepreneurs, to let them understand that the more you open up your company is the more you're going to make. Because the tax rate is a percentage of a whole. So if that whole keeps growing, you will always get more than what the government is going to get. I'll touch quickly on the fact that, Neighborhood does all these things. We take you from nowhere right up. We fund you with debt, we fund you with equity. The gains have been crazy. But I close by jumping into Audrey's space because I just want to make two fundamental points. I think sometimes we don't really focus on what really matters. So the biggest issue with funding in the country is a matter of risk management. So for example, people always say, why is it easier for you to get a car loan than for you to get a capital item loan? And it's very, very simple. There's a secondary market for cars. So when you get a loan, the bank has to ensure its principal can be repaid in the event you don't make the payment. So they'll quickly lend you against a car, because if you default on a car, there are a billion people that are willing to buy the car on a second-hand basis. But that is the secret to true funding in this country. If every sector of the economy that you want to pump funding into, you can create a secondary market, that is where you'll start to get a lot of funding. Because with all due respect, all of you guys that want money, you don't want to lose money. I don't want to lose money. The facts say that 8 out of 10 of you are going to blow up the money. That's why it is so difficult. So in my mind, the solution is create an environment that if I will invest in all 10, but the 8 that blows up, give me an incentive. Because right now it's too lopsided. I lose everything when your company blows up, and the best, if I'm lucky, that I'm going to get from you is, Mr. Peart, you're a good guy. Sorry I lost all your money. But guess what? I have another idea. Can you give me some more money for that? It's not going to work. So I finally close by saying, to get these traditional investors to invest in you, you have to come up with a solution that mitigates the risk for them.
Management Accounting Services. Keeping track of business performance is the key to driving future business performance. Having sound, up-to-date, and regular financial reports will ensure you are making well-informed business decisions in relation to matters such as capital expenditure, cost reductions, where future sales growth needs monitoring or driving, under or well-performing staff, or when is the right time to take on new staff. Dodge & Global can help you to prepare interim financial reports and therefore better advise you as to your future tax payments to prevent any surprises at year-end and to smooth out your tax obligations, saving you money. We will have discussions with you regarding the results of these reports and make sure you are aware of any pitfalls or areas that need your attention on a more regular basis. Our team can help you make smarter, more effective decisions. Let's have a conversation. Contact us at email info@dodgen.global. Website https://dodgen.global.
Stay current and gain more information on the ever-evolving industry of real estate on Home Sweet Home, Sundays at 4:30 p.m. on Business Access TV.
They say it takes a village to raise a child, but the world will one day need the leadership of that child. The time you spend with your child matters. It stimulates their minds and shapes the way they act. Talk with your children. Help them to better understand the world around them and to value what is truly precious. Above all, the most valuable gift you can give them is love. Play, talk, teach, love. Take the time. It makes all the difference. A message from the Parenting Helpline and Ad Council Jamaica.
Business Advisory. Realize greater growth and profitability. Navigating market changes can be challenging for any business. Our goal is to help you identify opportunities at any stage of your financial life cycle, ensuring you continue to meet your business needs in complex market environments. From startup through to expansion, tax advisory to accounting, Dodgen Global provides a multidisciplinary approach to managing the entirety of your affairs. We ensure your business remains profitable and competitive. You can expect practical advice, effective cost management, and a mutual respect for your goals and growth aspirations. Our commercial advice comes from extensive knowledge and experience working with a broad range of business and industry sectors. Dodgen Global can help you make smarter, more effective decisions. Let's have a conversation. Contact us at email info@dodgen.global. Website https://dodgen.global.
So I'm here representing my company and partnering with the Mona School of Business and Management. We at Foswich went public just a year and a half ago. And I'm here to tell you about nuts and bolts, just a few things on the nuts and bolts aspect of going public. One of the fundamental things, a few fundamental things that we had to wrestle with is going public. What is the value proposition that we are bringing to the market? You know, the space that we are in is electrical lighting, and we made a footprint for us in the LED space, where that particular product, the LED product, consumes 20% of the energy that the rest of fluorescent and incandescent light systems would produce, would consume. And so we wanted Jamaica to be clear that we are we're going to be the ones to bring this value to each consumer. And so how do we bring that value to the consumer? When you walk into a store and you see an LED bulb or an LED fixture or something, being untrained, you do not know exactly the properties and how it works and so on. And so we decided, okay, we are going to have to develop a department where we give this information to you. So when you walk in, or when we call you, or when we visit you, we are going to teach you or tell you the features of using the LEDs and the benefits. And so that became a big part of the value that we brought to to the market. We had to therefore acquire or employ engineers, and we call them commercial or engineers that can disseminate information in a forum that people can understand. And so we will have small meetings like these. We call them, industrial mingles, whether it be in Montego Bay, in Mandeville, in Kingston, and we invite 50 to 80 people, and we start talking to them. And before long, they start spreading the news of the value of the product that we were offering. And so we were now defining our way in the market.
And in doing that, it gave us the freedom to feel more comfortable later on to go public, because now we were bringing the value that the other competitors were not bringing to the market at the time. And so you have to decide what is it you're going to take to the market. We were not manufacturing any products at that time, or we were not manufacturing them in Jamaica, because we had connections in Far East that we visited and we worked with them to manufacture them, but they were not being manufactured in Jamaica. So we wanted to set ourselves apart from the competition. So one, understand what is it you're bringing to the market and what value you give them when they are to use your goods or services before you are thinking of going public. Is my another thing, and Marlene and Gary touched on it, transparency. It is my wife and I are very private people before last year. We're very private people. Nobody knew anything about us. I mean, it was so difficult for us to open all of our accounting to our senior accountant. We used to manage it. But once we decided after talking about it and thinking about it that we're going to be going public. I do not even have the code to go into my accounts department anymore, because you now put a system in place and you're not afraid of opening up your books or your business to the public. And so you have to decide that this is the way you want to go and that you're going to go in this way.
So I come to you to talk to you about transforming the world in Caribbean with entrepreneurship, sustainability, and innovation. It's time to turn climate change challenges into growth opportunities. I want to start today by taking a journey with you. Just as I grew up as an only child in Kingston and migrated to the US in high school, think about your experiences and where in Jamaica you're from, where you lived, where you grew up, your family, and what those experiences were like, what you aspired to be, and what you were frustrated with. It is said that our upbringing and life experiences shape us, the way we look at the world and our perspective. I think about my upbringing, born in a family from the great and no longer forgotten parish of St. Thomas, and raised in a matriarchal household. I think about the days when my grandmother made soursop juice and mango juice every time I visited her. I think about those frigid cold showers and the smell of kerosene lamps, and during intermittent power outages, and buckets of water because of the water shut off. And the other things like how I still boil water to this day, no matter where in the world I'm from. I see potential innovation in the challenges in our day to day life. Sometimes we're missing ideas and solutions from what is right in front of us. Sometimes we accept what has been occurring as commonplace, but I encourage every one of you to disrupt this status quo. Use those challenges as opportunities for innovation. Steve Jobs said, if you're going to make connections which are innovative, you have to have not the same bag of experiences as everyone else. You're going to have to make connections, and then you won't be innovative. When you think of the most successful tech companies being created today, is either from Silicon Valley, Israel, Europe, or Asia. However, right here in Jamaica, we have exported our own brand of innovation through music, food, dance, etc., and even the pushback. It is our family experiences, the history of migration, our culture and diversity of our people that makes us special and unique. They are the ingredients for a new crop of innovations that can be utilized to address climate change challenges. I believe that sustainability and climate change is the business and economic opportunity of the century. The world is under a climate emergency. If we don't, in the next 10 years, if we don't reduce the temperature by 1.5 degrees, we will be in a serious catastrophe. According to the UN, limiting global warming means that 420 million fewer people being exposed to severe heat waves, survival of tropical reefs, loss of fewer plants and animal species, and the protection of forests and wetland habitats. Climate change affects every industry, but most notably health, agriculture, water, and food, water and energy. Because of the increased acceptance and the urgency, there has been a rapid increase of funding, governmental projects, and new startup innovations. The capital markets have also taken notice and are integrating environmental consideration, social impact, and governance into business and investment decisions. They are reallocating trillions of dollars to address this challenge. This is an enabling environment that presents an opportunity to create new products, new services, and solutions that will help and mitigate, adapt and mitigate the effects of climate change for everyone. Furthermore, because of the islands, because the islands in general are disproportionately affected, in some cases it gives us first mover advantage to innovate and create solutions in a small environment before scaling internationally. The time to innovate and take advantage of new business and social impact opportunity is now. We are currently feeling the effects of climate change. Last month, as many of you know, in Kingston, there was record temperatures. Kingston was not alone. In Alaska, the record temperature reached 32 degrees. In southern France, the record temperature reached 45.5 degrees Celsius. And it's just going to get hotter from here. As higher temperatures become more common, the demand for cooling devices will rise, driving the need for green innovation in the sector. Air conditioning is a twofold problem. It requires the use of more energy and uses chemicals that are harmful to global warming. There are hotter days coming, and there is both a need for new solutions and technologies that can keep us cool, but also reduce the effects of climate change.
It's Island Hour, it's Island Hour, it's Island Hour, free eye test. It's Island Hour, it's Island Hour, it's Island Hour, free eye test.
Free eye testing is back and it's here to stay. Island Eyewear offers free eye testing every day, all day at all locations island-wide. Conditions apply. Make your appointment today at www.islandeyewear.com or call us 630-1180. Island Eyewear, your style, your price.
It's Island Hour, free eye test.
Your business matters. Business Access TV offers you the most innovative and effective advertising solution for your business, specializing in B2B sales, cost-effective solutions, the customers you want, the repetition you need. No matter the size and nature of your company, your business matters.
Call us at 876-291-6233 or 876-376-4225. Email sales@batvja.com.
The Good Life, your trusted source for useful health and wellness information, lifestyle tips for the mind, body, and soul. Tune in Tuesdays at 8:30 p.m. on Business Access TV.
So today I will be speaking about Airbnb, which is very topical. The emergence of Airbnb in Jamaica and some of the debates and concerns that we have. I'm going to be pointing to what I consider to be a research gap and some questions, a very brief literature review, tell you a little bit about my methodology, what I found out, and some preliminary conclusions. I want to say that this is part of a larger body of work, and it's very much still in progress. So, two things: forgive me if everything isn't there, and secondly, I really welcome your comments, which will help me to, you know, I can utilize them as I go forward. All right. So these are some of the headlines that we see that we have seen over time. I just went to our local newspapers, and you can see there's quite a debate happening. And this happens everywhere Airbnb goes. Very few people are neutral. They either love it or they hate it. So most recently, in the last week, we have had the issue of taxation come up, and the whole issue about how much are people earning from Airbnb currently. The last comment that really caught my attention was from the JHTA, Jamaica Hotel and Tourism Association. And they're saying, tax because we need a level playing field. And what is in quotation there, you can read for yourself. But in essence, the JHA's position is that, look, these people are legitimate competitors to us, and we don't see why, if they are competing in our space, they shouldn't have to have the same, my words, burden that we have. So, what I have been noticing in this debate, there's a lot of talk, as I showed with the headlines, about Airbnb and home sharing. Airbnb, of course, is just one of the many companies, but it's a name that everybody knows. So, and it's what I'm actually focusing my work on. But there's a lot of stuff we don't know. For example, are they really unfair threats? Are they tapping into the same market as the hotels? Or are they just little people trying to make some extra cash? JHTA doesn't think so, that they're little people, but how much do we really know? Do they offer similar products? And in essence, it comes down to one question: what exactly are they doing? So I have some research questions that I will show you again in a little bit. But in essence, what I'm trying to understand is from the perspective of the host. So rather than going macro, I'm actually going to go micro, because hosts are the ones who make or break an Airbnb product. So that's what I will be looking at. So as I said, I'll mention these research questions in a little bit. But to just talk about the host, who is the host? Well, one definition says a good host makes his guests very happy, makes his guests happy while they're in his care. So that's in essence what a host would be required to do. But in addition to that, a host has a legal and moral obligations. So if some of us have studied hospitality law, and we know that coming back from common law, innkeeper's liability, and so on, you have the obligation to ensure that your guests are kept safe and healthy. But in addition to that, there's this moral code from many religions and traditions, meaning that you have to take the person in. In addition to that, in Jamaica, we have very strict legislation. And for a homestay, which currently Airbnb would fall under, there are 11 standards established by TPD, Tourism Product and Development Company, that have to be met. And they're currently looking at new legislation, they say. But currently, this is where it would fall. And hosts should also receive Team Jamaica training. B&B hosts, bed and breakfast hosts, are often lifestyle entrepreneurs, and that's a nice way of saying they don't necessarily do it for the money. There's a lot of romance and mystery associated with the concept of bed and breakfast. And the interesting thing with Airbnb is, it sounds like breakfast, bed and breakfast, and they're built on that notion, although they technically, they don't have to serve breakfast, and very few actually do. But remember that many of them are lifestyle entrepreneurs. And the services that they're expected to provide, they're very intimate, customer service oriented, personalized, and so on, because in many cases, you're coming into the home of the host. Airbnb now, what they say is almost anyone can be a host. That's what, if you go to their website, they will say that. But what you may not understand when you're falling on that following up on that. Oh, I'm sorry. And they also say that there are 3 steps: list the space, decide how to host, and welcome the first guest. And that sounds really simple as one, two, three. But in reality, each of those steps assumes a whole body of knowledge which everybody may not have. You have to understand how to market. You have to understand how to do your pricing according to the season, according to supply and demand, and so on. And of course, how to manage your property and to interact with guests.
This afternoon, I'm going to be presenting on Airbnb and delivering the promise of Airbnb, the promise of entrepreneurship to Jamaica. And as my colleague mentioned, Dr. Craig, about the whole issue of Airbnb, it's a very controversial topic now. To tax or not to tax, those are the issues. But today for my presentation, I'm going to be providing and sharing some data with you about Airbnb's performance in Jamaica in particular. And please note that this is a part of a larger body of study. I'm actually studying Airbnbs not only in Jamaica, but also in Cuba and Cayman Islands and Bahamas. So the sample that you see me extrapolate data from is a part of a wider body of knowledge that is also currently ongoing and in process. So as you can see, it's the whole business of home sharing. So the idea is not lost upon us. And another thing that we want to drive home is that the whole notion of Airbnb is really not new to the Jamaican tourism industry, Caribbean tourism industry by extension. We've always opened our homes to guests. It's just the way in which we're doing it is different. And technology has created a platform that allows for greater access to persons who are also seeking this kind of intimate relationship and more authentic experiences. So we're going to get into, again, some of the controversy I also took from the headlines because it's so topical. And as you can see, there's so many issues coming out, how many guests we're actually welcoming, where they're going, who are they staying with, to tax or not to tax. That's also a big question that is trying to be answered now. So it's very topical. But again, just to frame and contextualize it, the Airbnb is a part of the wider sharing economy. And I love that term, as you mentioned, the Uber reputation, is it? Yes, fantastic. Because really that's what it is. It stems from these radical innovations that allow people to make extra money. That's really what it is. So I looked at the literature again from sources and what persons are saying about the sharing economy, which we're now a part of. And that is why everybody's trying to get their slice of the pie. So Botsman in particular had mentioned that it's very hard for us to define in totality what the sharing economy is. However, Ryan and Botsman in 2017 and 15 respectively looked at it from calling it a collaborative economy, the on-demand services economy, the gig economy, the freelance economy. So if you hear any of these terms, they're all used interchangeably. And basically it refers to the sharing activity of underutilized assets with the help of IT-based technology. So it's nothing new. It's just again the platform in which we're presenting it is a little different. So the main drivers towards this economy, how did it emerge and why are we here and why is it so important to us? The main drivers is basically consumer behavior. We're switching now from ownership to access. Now, I'm a part of a very unique group of consumers and producers called the millennials, and they're few in this room. And we're kind of changing and shaping the way in which we consume things. So we're looking less to ownership rather, and more to access. And that is what is causing all these radical innovations to take place right across our landscape, and in particular in tourism. Now, the biggest success factors of the sharing economy is online reputation. And my colleague again, Anne Crick, also mentioned, the feedback system and rankings in terms of host and super host and all of that. Very important for us to look at. So these are some of the brands that come about under the sharing economy: Uber, Airbnb, Homestay, Lyft, WeWork, all of these, Craigslist, Couchsurfing, all of them are part of the sharing economy. So peer-to-peer accommodation, this is where people provide accommodation directly to consumers using a digital platform. And these are temporary stays in the homes. Airbnb in particular for P2P accommodation, most people call it Airbnb, But there are also other platforms that are very much relevant to us and is affecting the Jamaican tourism accommodation landscape. TripAdvisor, HomeAway, and also Booking.com. Now, just to share some data with you, globally, peer-to-peer accommodations, they're 7% of total accommodation around the world, 8 million beds. It's estimated that the number of transactions that took place was actually 75 billion US in 2017. And the trends and findings, again, the millennials are the ones who are driving this form of innovation. And also, it is not limited to budget travelers. It's not just about cheap travel, but efficient travel as well. And it was initially for the leisure market, but we find from my studies that the business traveler is also another trending market. So for entrepreneurs who are trying to get into Airbnb, an aspect that you could look at in terms of growth is catering to the needs of the business traveler. So Jamaica, what is happening with Jamaica and what does it mean for us going forward? Jamaica was chosen as one of the countries for a pilot study by the World Bank in 2018. So they came to the Ministry of Tourism and they wanted to study peer-to-peer accommodations in the Caribbean, and Jamaica was the country chosen. But why is the World Bank interested in peer-to-peer accommodation? It is said that it can help to eliminate poverty, boost shared prosperity, and also its contributions for income generation for a broader group of people, in particular women, which I'll be looking at tomorrow. So in Jamaica, just to put things into perspective, there is over 5,000 active listings on Airbnb in Jamaica, 7,600 in total. So that's a recent statistics that's coming from Airbnb. So we have 7,600 hosts, 5,000 active, which means they're actually getting bookings and doing well. TripAdvisor Rentals also has 2,300 listings. HomeAway has 950 listings, and Booking.com has 1,124. So it's not just Airbnb, but it's just that Airbnb is one of the platforms that has seen the most growth throughout the years.
Thanks for staying with us for coverage of the Mona School of Business and Management's 4th Business Conference. You're watching Business Access TV, serious about business.
Have you seen it? It's BATV Live. Live streams of business news weekdays at 7:30 p.m. Stay on point Thursdays at 8 p.m. with our Business Current Affairs show and Weekend Business Report Saturdays at 7:30 p.m. wherever you are. Log on to our Facebook page at Business Access TV or visit our website at batvja.com. Live and at your fingertips. Business Access TV, serious about business.
Now presenting the Jamaica Social Investment Fund ICDP Enterprise Development Project. Entrepreneurial Grant, Business Pitch.
This project is a $100 million grant that's seeking to target 50 small and micro business enterprises and give them training, capacity development, equipment, permits and license towards the development and the viability of their business. We have made a call for proposal in March of this year for entrepreneurs to submit for the opportunity to receive a grant between $1 and $5 million. We received more than 500 applications, and so we have now shortlisted them to 100. So we've invited that top 100 applicants here today, and they're going to have to pitch their business idea to a panel, and of the 150 will actually transfer and win the opportunity for the grants. One of the primary objectives of what we're doing here is employment. We want the business to be able to sustain not only the principals as the owners, but we also want the business to be able to employ at least 2 people. The next part of it, as we do in all of our projects like this, is it provides a learning instrument of how we can engage small and micro enterprises and take them to the next level.
Why we're doing this rigorous process? Because we want to identify the best potential entrepreneurs for this project. And keep in mind that we are speaking about a loan, so we want to ensure that the applicants are committed, and that from a sustainability point of view, that upon receiving the support from JSIP, that in 2-3 years, the enterprises will still be operational and the broader objective of the project would be achieved. Once we have now equipped them and they should be ready to start their production line going, we'll then have a mentorship component.
It has been a very competitive process. Jamaica is filled with persons with drive and passion. We're expecting that the best will be selected, and then for those who are not successful, we are also hoping to link them to other providers of services, because I'm telling you today, from what I've seen, it is an excellent opportunity. It's worthy of note that many persons coming here today already have some kind of semblance of a business, but they need the additional support to move that business to the other level, as well as some persons that come in with those proposals to start from scratch. On behalf of the JSIF, we want to really thank the DBJ and other partners from UE who came to be part of the panel, and just to remind you that the JSIF is here and we're investing for community development.
We are serious about the business of real estate, so catch Home Sweet Home Sundays at 4:30 p.m. or if you missed it, check our website at batvja.com.
My name is Fitzroy Mays, owner of the Mays Farm in Content Gap. The idea of farming came about after I lost my job 5 years ago. I decided I wasn't interested in going back to doing a 9-to-5, so I decided to do some farming, and I started planting some broccoli. And that's how, it took off from there. The business was started in January 2012. The products and services that Mays Farm offers is like fresh farm produce, basically broccoli, strawberry, corn, sweet pepper, tomatoes, and other vegetables. I cater to basically every Jamaican. As long as you're in my reach and I can deliver to you, once you call me and say need X amount of produce, I deliver to your home or office. Funding came from persons, like, friends and family gave me money and seeds to start up. And then I further went out there and got a few days' work and then turned that money in the business, and that's how I got started up. Money was used to purchase basically seeds, mostly broccoli seeds, And then after that money turned over, then I started purchasing equipment. The profitability of Mays Farm is very high, because you spend $5,000 and you can make up to $100,000 from $5,000. It's a lot of work. You probably might wait 2 or 3 months to get that money, but working out there for somebody, you won't get that amount of money if you work for a month or 2. So the profitability is very good. It's a high risk, but it's very good. The location here in Content Gap helps my business very much because of the climate. I'm able to produce right through. Sometimes it hurts my business because of the frequent rainfall I get from time to time. It does take a toll on the crops, spoil a lot of berries and broccoli and all of that. But it's good. Otherwise, the climate is very good for production and the soil is very fertile. I find persons from the community, probably somebody not having any job, I get them to do a day work or two and that, come in and harvest and do some pruning up from time to time whenever I have the funds to do it. Because sometimes funds go out and you have to just do stage by yourself. So as the capital comes, you work with the capital flow. Well, presently, yes, my mom is here giving me a few days, doing some cleaning up of the strawberries and getting things going back on track for the year. The typical culture in Content Gap is basically farming. Most persons plant coffee, banana, plantain, and stuff like that. But I decided to go strawberry because of the profitability of it. It's very labor intensive, but it's worth the while because it's in high demand and you get a good return from the crop. Full day, 12 hours. Get up from 5 in the morning, I'm out here 6 and I work right up to 7 o'clock, sometimes 8 o'clock depending. On a typical day, like presently I'm doing tilling and making up beds, laying drip hose and plastic mulch. So on a typical day, it depends on, starting up now is setting back the farm right now. So it's basically land preparation right now. Being an entrepreneur has impacted my life in a good way. I mean, I'm able to provide for my family better. I can find more time to get stuff done. If I take a few days, if I have a family issue, I can deal with it and not have to be reporting to anybody, say, boy, how come you never come to work yesterday, and all of that. So it's been very good, I've got a lot of exposure, and I'm inspiring other persons in farming as well. So it's a good look.
Taking the pain out of the audit preparation. Doggin Global now offers audit management services, AMS. With AMS, Doggin Global team manages your external audit process by providing the following. 1. Prepare and review schedules for your external auditors. 2. Prepare responses to your external audit team queries. 3. Assign our team members to locate supporting documents during field work. 4. Draft financial statements in accordance with IFRS to supply to your external auditors. 5. Provide guidance to your internal accounting staff regarding classification and recording of transactions. 6. Review your general ledger for accuracy. 7. Prepare necessary journal entries. 8. Prepare fixed asset register. 9. Prepare accounting and operational manual for effective internal control. 10. Liaise with the company external auditors. We work with your team to achieve timely and effective external audits, resulting in timely completion of your audited financial statement, while your current staff focuses on their daily activities. Contact us, info@doggin.global. Website, doggin.global.
Have you seen it? It's BATV Live. Live streams of business news weekdays at 7:30 p.m. Stay on point Thursdays at 8 p.m. with our Business Current Affairs show. And Weekend Business Report Saturdays at 7:30 p.m. Wherever you are. Log on to our Facebook page at Business Access TV or visit our website at batvja.com. Live and at your fingertips. Business Access TV. Serious about business.
What set the maize farm apart from all other farms out there? The service that I deliver. If I come to you with something and you don't like it or there's something spoiled, I do a replacement. Once you say to me, say, boy, if it's right, this thing went bad, I can say, okay, no problem. And your next order, when you say you need some more stuff, I'll give you back a pound or two for the spoiled produce. Like, for instance, I went to a customer house And she was saying, I'm selling her some red peas. And I said, she don't shell red peas. I said, okay, no problem, I'll shell red peas for you. And I sit there in the kitchen at the counter and I shell the red peas, 2 knot of red peas. And after shelling the 2 knot, she purchased another one and I shelled it out right there. So it's basically customer service. How you deal with your customer them is what determines what moves you forward, you know what I mean? I come up with new ideas, just going and thinking about, what would make my farm stand out more, changing up how I do my landscaping and all of that, and how I lay out the farm and how I ensure that my crops come in at a high quality. I go about securing my customer base as delivering high quality produce at all times. Once your produce is good, then you get referrals and person will say, yeah man, this guy have good stuff and you can buy from him. So that's how I keep them, by delivering good produce at all times. The challenges I faced starting up the farm was lack of funding. I didn't have money to buy whatever tools and equipment to get my work done. And it was very stressing, from time to time, needing something and you're unable to buy it. It's very struggling. I mean, you alone doing everything is very challenging, but if you just keep that focus and keep pushing on, you'll get where you want, So basically that's how I do my things. I just keep going, depending how challenging it gets, I just keep pushing on, because I know one day it will get better. Right now, I want to put up like a nice shade house. Whenever the rainy season comes, I can keep the water off the berries. So I like a financial challenge. All right, my failures are, sometimes I'm unable to deliver produce, because some persons, like the strawberries, for instance, is in high demand, and I'm unable to keep up with the demand because of low production, or no production, or even a heavy downpour rain can mess up everything, and then, persons needing something like tomorrow and one shower rain mess up everything, you're unable to deliver. That takes you back, Probably a person, you get an order from a hotel and then you're unable to meet that demand and then you lose that market, so that's really a big challenge right there. I've decided to fix those challenges by increasing production, putting in more stuff, so I can earn more money and getting persons to do some of the work that I normally try to do by myself. I can get somebody to, attend to the crops and keep them in good production year-round, so I can meet my demand. Well, the growth strategy I put in place to ensure that the maize farm Devon is like acquiring more land to implement more production of the berries, and also have other farmers coming in through the Agro-O project. So other farmers out there do berry strawberries as well. But the maize farm will be the #1 strawberry production in Jamaica. So marketing the business, basically, I use social media, Facebook, Instagram, WhatsApp, referrals from customers, like I said before, was a means of marketing. The best form of marketing is Facebook. I'm willing to go the extra mile to ensure that the maize farms keep on successful, putting out long hours of work and ensure that I keep up high quality produce at all times. Yes, I believe there is a pattern and a formula to becoming a successful entrepreneur. It takes determination, and a zeal to make it. You want that, you're going for it. Sometimes you feel like you're running out of energy, you can't go, but if you just rest a bit and just keep pressing on, you'll get there. Because it wasn't easy for me. I didn't know that I would be where I'm at right now. I just started out doing some work, and then the hard work I put on, person seeing, yeah man, I work hard, and he's a good, influence and inspiring other person. So let's push him forward, let's give him some motivation, and you get there. Success is what you make it, You know what I mean? You doing a good work and person seeing what you're doing, and you see yourself increasing in profit and changing other person's life. It's not all about the money, it's about the aspect, the character that you put forward, and the person seeing you as a motivation to them, looking to you as I say, yes, all right, if you do it, if I do it, then you can do it too. My greatest fear for the maize farm is maybe, I don't know, I have to kids, I don't know if they're going to be interested in a farm, but I'm hoping that they will come on and keep doing the good work that I've been doing and keep it up, you know, because sometimes in this the generations nowadays, they don't think that the soil is anything of means of becoming wealthy, because person thinking about doctors and lawyers and all that, but farming is a key, because who's going to feed the doctor and the lawyer? They're out there, they need food to eat, you know. So person don't see farming as a business, so to speak. They see it as a dirty work, but you have to get it. The soil is where everything lies in the soil. You know, food comes from the soil, we came from the soil, so we have to set that trend and keep it up.
It's Island Hour, it's Island Hour, it's Island Hour, free eye test. It's Island Hour, it's Island Hour, it's Island Hour, free eye test.
Free eye testing is back and it's here to stay. Island Eyewear offers free eye testing every day, all day at all locations island-wide. Conditions apply. Make your appointment today at www.islandeyewear.com or call us 630-1180. Island Eyewear, your style, your price.
It's Island Hour, free eye test.
Fitzroy motivation is his children. My kids are what motivate me. When I'm unable to supply their needs, that drive me to work even harder to ensure that their needs are being met. You know, sending them to school and ensuring that they have a meal on the table every day and the necessary things that they need to stay in good health. That's what drives me. You know, and dreams that I want to pursue as well help drive me to say, listen to me, just keep doing this. You're gonna get to where you want. You're gonna buy whatever you need to buy, whether it be house material to set up that house, whether you wanna set mommy in life, get her in a nice place where she can just relax and enjoy herself after years of hard work, you know. So that's what really drives me. My greatest inspiration is myself. You know, I inspire myself to just keep going despite the challenges that are around me, you know. Financial setbacks, weather condition, you know. Sometimes challenges from all different angles come at me. I just keep going because I know I'm coming from far. I used to walk and through farming and I was able to purchase a car, you know, so I just keep going. I want better, so I just keep pressing on each time. My favorite aspect of being an entrepreneur is collecting your own money, paying yourself. You're your own boss. You decide what you want to do today and how you're going to do it. And you have time to relax when you want. You don't have anybody over here telling you, all right, you need to get back to work now. So if you don't feel well, you can go take a rest and then wake up, and then if you want to work straight back till in the morning, if you want, it's up to you. So being an entrepreneur, you have your own time. You manage your own time as what you do when. You know, you don't have anybody bullying you. So some of the things that makes Maize Farm successful is the quality produce that I supply. You know, persons enjoying interacting with me and enjoying consuming my produce. You know, they say the produce is very nice, you know. Everything has good quality. So that's what drives the business forward. My most satisfying moment in business is getting my customers, keeping my customers happy. That's my most satisfying. You know, when I keep them happy, then I am happy. Because once they are unhappy, then you can lose business that way. But once you keep your customers happy, then you'll be good. You know, you feel that joy and that zeal. Say, yes, you're doing a good job. My hobbies are, you know, taking my children to the beach, you know, just probably relaxing, going out and watching a movie, or just chilling with some friends, something like that, you know. What makes me happy is coming out here each day and seeing my produce coming out, fruits being there to be harvested and can be able to pick a fruit and have it fresh from the farm, and that's really a joy for me. A future plan for Maize Farm is getting persons here to work on a daily basis, being able to hire at least 5 persons on a daily basis, you know, putting in money in persons' pockets from the community, and then able to now get more time to do more interaction with the customers and penetrating the market even better, expanding, you know, to even 14 parishes of Jamaica, so I can know each week I'm in at least 2 parishes for the week, so I can penetrate the market and bring in more income in my pocket, you know, penetrate even in the hotel industry and get in more income. My advice to the young entrepreneurs out there are persons who wanting to start a business. You might be low on capital or limited resources are around you, but once you start and persons see that you're wanting to do something, then they will help to give you whatever you need to move forward, and you in turn have to be determined to push yourself forward and to go out there and get your business going. Despite all the challenges that are around you, it might look like it's not going to work, but don't listen to people, listen to your heart, and you'll be successful as an entrepreneur.
I wanted to be an educator because I believe that education is the most powerful weapon that can change the world.
My dreams and aspiration is to one day become an entrepreneur where I can employ other persons and help to build the country.
I wanted to go into development. I wanted to help people become better versions of themselves. Growing up, I saw a lot of violence, I saw a lot of crime, I saw a lot of poverty. The challenges are so many. The first one that comes to mind is the level of youth unemployment that's here.
Challenges that exist here in West Prospect Bogwalk are lack of awareness for educational opportunities or job opportunities.
Not many got the chance to do CXC or graduate from the secondary level. So that's a major setback for the people in the community.
A way to alleviate this issue is training programs.
They need more opportunities, like to go back to school to get themselves a certificate so they can be able to work and create employment for themselves and their family.
Push more entrepreneurship opportunity, encourage these youths to be creative and innovative in what they do. Give them startup capital to start their business. Invest more in the youth skills and talents.
The poverty reduction program is funded by the European Union, and it really is a program that focuses on the most vulnerable type of communities, making communities safer, making citizens more healthy, better access to education.
For European Union, investing in youth is an obvious choice. They are the future of the country. If we prepare them well, they will bring the change that Jamaica needs. That's why we invest in scholarships, internship, training in life skills and mentorship.
I received a tertiary scholarship from PRP to attend the University of Technology, Jamaica. It meant a lot to me because I realized that somebody else believed in me and somebody saw the potential that I have and somebody believed that I could actually achieve my goal.
I benefited by getting firstly an internship, and also they assisted my bachelor's degree financially. But critically, outside of the finances, the persons that were on the project, you know, the motivation that they provided, etc., it really provided a huge boost.
This is my third year at the MICO. This scholarship, it helped me to be able to focus only on my education here, because tertiary education is not cheap.
I was placed at ODPEM on the one-year internship program. It was really good. It was an opportunity for me to prove myself, to give myself a service, and also to gain experience in the working world, and to also provide for my family.
I plan to be an agent of change in my community by being a mentor, a leader, and a godfather for the youths growing up. Try to help them teach them a trade.
You don't have to be rich to help. You don't have to achieve greatness to start. I contributed to my basic school by providing them with the necessary resources that they need, that I believe that in the long run, it will have a ripple effect on many, many persons.
Professionally, I manage the whole program, which is aimed at giving young persons the opportunity to, do what I did, basically, to get their foot inside an organization. Additionally, I also have a little small business that I try to employ young persons to learn a skill, etc.
When you're persistent in life, when you're determined, when you're hungry for success, then you'll be able to accomplish and achieve anything that you want.
It has changed hundreds and hundreds of lives. Not just my life, my family lives, my friends' lives, etc. I want to just urge everyone looking on to continue these social programs. These are the solutions to the many ills that we face as a society and as a country and even as a world. So thank you, and I challenge you, continue it. It's needed.
Your business matters. Business Access TV offers you the most innovative and effective advertising solution for your business, specializing in B2B sales, cost-effective solutions, the customers you want, the repetition you need. No matter the size and nature of your company, your business matters.
Call us at 876-291-6233 or 876-376-4225. Email sales@batvja.com.
I do have a dream, and I know you have a dream, that we can make Jamaica the place of choice for you to choose to live, to work, to do business.
We are going for the Jamaica we want. Making steady progress to achieve the Sustainable Development Goals in our National Development Plan, Vision 2030 Jamaica. We have teamed up with valued partners, working through strong institutions to reduce inequalities in our society. We commit to being responsible in our production and consumption, ensuring we build sustainable communities in harmony with nature. Jamaica is making significant strides in providing quality, lifelong education for all, enabling our people to be engaged in decent work to drive economic growth, equipping men and women with the skills to build resilient infrastructure, promote sustainable industry, foster innovation, and utilize new technologies. Urgent action is being taken to manage natural resources responsibly, protecting clean water sources, ensuring access to water and sanitation for all, diversifying to alternative energy sources, conserving our environment and sustaining life below water and on land. Jamaica is making moves to ensure healthy lifestyles for the well-being of our people. We're promoting sustainable agriculture to achieve food security, improve nutrition, and end extreme hunger, putting in the work to end poverty in all its forms. We're on track in achieving our Sustainable Development Goals through realizing our Vision 2030 Jamaica. We will leave no one behind.
And I'm chilling right now, cause we're winning right now.
I'm Adam Stewart. This is Business Access TV, serious about business.
The Jamaica Stock Exchange wishes to help to develop the social sector. To that end, they have formed the Jamaica Social Stock Exchange, which is a safe, efficient, and transparent platform that aims to promote social projects that build Jamaica and will inure to the benefit of all persons living in the country.
The Jamaica Stock Exchange is a company that encourages and mobilizes capital for the main market. And that is the market that is not the social sector. Now, the Jamaica Social Stock Exchange is really geared towards the social sector to help to solve social problems in the field of health, education, about children, environment. Those are some of the things that we consider social problems. And so it is to mobilize the capital, allow persons who have a desire to invest in a social good, to invest in the social stock exchange. It is designed in two parts. In phase one, where we look at social investment, and phase two, where we look at social impact investment. Now, in phase one, really what we are saying is it is donation. An organization will have a social issue and design it into a project or a program and invite Jamaicans or persons within the diaspora or the entire world to fund this program. Now in phase two, you're going to get a return on investment which is not social. You will be getting shares, natural shares, as you would get if you invested in the Jamaica Stock Exchange. And what you'll get is a return on capital, which is possibly dividend or an appreciation in that share. The Jamaica Social Stock Exchange does more than ask for the funding of these programs, but goes beyond that in terms of monitoring, ensuring that these programs are meeting the targets and the reason for them to have asked for funding in the first place. When we look at this new sector, it is important because holistically, if you do not look on the social sector, you do not improve the other sectors. We want to encourage all businesses in Jamaica to have a corporate social responsibility because it is good for encouraging and the growth and development of businesses.
My name is Christelle Harris. You're watching Business Access TV, serious about business.
When deciding on the type of home you'd like to purchase or invest in, it's important to know what's available and how your lifestyle and needs might evolve over the next 5 to 10 years. This week on Home Sweet Home, we explore all the pros and cons of residential living. Hi. Good to be here.
Nice to meet you.
Thanks for having me.
No problem.
I'm so excited to learn more about apartments. We have so much ground to cover. Right away, I see my favorite spot, the kitchen.
Yeah.
Still accessible to short people like me. Let me ask you this, Carlington. Is an apartment a good purchase for a first-time homeowner?
Yes, it is. In your early stages of purchasing an apartment, for example, your first purchase of real estate, you'd want to know that you're making a good investment as regards to getting a good resale value after you have moved on to your, first say, your dream house. As the demand grows, you have more young professionals and the price would actually go up. So, for example, you purchase it at $10 million. You live in it for about 3 to 4 years.
Yes.
And at the end of 4 years, your apartment may appreciate by, say, for example, 20 to 30%. So that in itself is a good investment.
Fantastic. Yeah. Because that was my next question. Is it a good investment for someone who's looking to widen their real estate portfolio?
Oh yes, it is. And especially as you know, in real estate, they say location, location, location. So for example, you have an apartment that's close to universities and close to the main business hub. That may be, you won't have any time in terms of having such an apartment. If you put it on the market, such an apartment won't take a lot of time to be snatched up by somebody who is very interested and who works in the business district.
So now that we're in this apartment,
yes,
let's talk about the pros of owning an apartment and the cons, the downside. But let's start with the positive aspect first. Hit me with those pros.
Normally an apartment is built where you have a town center. It's built because developers, I think, with good business sense, wouldn't normally go for that type of environment in terms of selecting a spot to actually have a development. So you're close to the main town areas, you're close to the party life, to hit strips, to major restaurants, food joints and stuff like that. So where the nightlife is concerned, that is a pro, that's a positive. Where community is concerned, having an apartment, you're close to persons. For example, there should be an emergency.
Yes.
You can have the security of knowing that you could call on somebody that's close by. In terms of security, a lot of persons choose an apartment because of the security aspect of it. You know, the whole issue of gated communities. So being in that confine, where you know that there's a stationary security personnel, and you have, like, for example, closed circuit cameras,
yes,
and you have like a remote automatic electronic gate, that is a good additive or a positive as regards to owning an apartment. Fantastic. And as I said before, the resale value is up where that is concerned.
And there is someone there regulating access to your property as well.
There's someone there regulating access. You would know who comes in, who goes out, so you have a checklist of that. So where that is concerned, security is a
absolutely
positive.
Key.
Absolutely.
And certainly on an apartment complex, you have a wide variety of complexes, yes, that have different amenities. So let's talk about that.
Yes, depending on the scale apartment. Normally you might find some apartments, what they try to, you have the green area. That's a place for recreation. You have some apartments come with tennis courts, some apartments come with their own gyms, and some apartments may come with a spa. So after having a hectic work week, you want to just relax and just enjoy the amenities that you have paid for, yes, in your maintenance and everything and the purchase of your apartment. That's a positive. Absolutely. Where the amenities are concerned. Where your utilities are concerned, for example, if you had a house before, that for somebody who's downsizing, they had a pool, your utilities more likely would be up. If you choose an apartment where you have shared facilities which are maintained, you are looking that your utility would actually scale down. So in that's a plus in terms of choosing an apartment over a house or in the process of scaling down.
So Carlington, it's time for us to flip the coin. We just spoke about the pros of owning an apartment. Let's talk about the cons.
Now, Shelley, as regards to the cons of owning an apartment, you know that now it's trendy to have a pet. For example, a poodle, or some persons might go with a cat. You might find that a lot of apartments, as regards to the strata rules, don't accommodate persons having a pet. Something can be worked out, and this has to be voted on by the board members of the strata for the particular apartment. And if a consensus is reached, then a person may bring in their pets. As regards to your apartment, as you know, by the strata rules, you're not able to do any modifications to the exterior of the apartment. And if there are any changes to take place, for example, a change of a window, it has to match back with the original scope of the design of the apartment. And this is being done to maintain the value of the property as it regards to reselling the property at a future date.
We were talking about how great it is to have neighbors, but certainly that provides challenges as well in terms of noise pollution. Everyone is so close together. Let's talk about that.
Where noise pollution is concerned, you know, a community is a bringing together of a number of other persons of different tastes and of different values.
Yes.
So then where noise is concerned, if you're a party person, then you may have a little challenge. You might find persons who have a hectic work schedule and they come in the evenings and they just want some peace and quiet. So you might find that as a drawback for some persons. Another con likewise is parking. Some apartment complexes may go up to 2 parking lots. So for a person who may have 2, 3, 4 persons coming to them, they might find a problem getting a parking space.
There are some apartments too that do not actually designate a parking space to you. You just have to kind of fit in where you find a vacancy.
That can be a challenge in the sense that the persons who actually owns property, to find that they come into their own property and are not being able to find a proper parking spot, that may be, they may complain to the strata committee where that is concerned. But you should know, Shelley, that most apartments, especially the contemporary apartments that we're seeing now, they afford designated parking spaces. So to avoid the complaints and stuff like that, that rule may be implemented for ease of access and for unity as regards to the community.
In addition, some overlooked disadvantages of apartments may include lack of privacy, problematic neighbors, lack of personal outdoor space, and no chance for extensions.
We're currently at Hillview Apartments. It's an 1,100 square footage apartment, and it's going for $18 million. And if you look at the fixtures, the finishes, and everything, from my perspective, and I believe from yours, it's worth it.
I love this apartment. It's very nice, very modern, very contemporary.
Yes, and as I said, from what I've been saying, that it speaks to your taste.
Don't go anywhere. When we return, we'll be exploring the pros and cons of a townhouse. Stay with us.
Have you seen it? It's BATV Live. Live streams of business news weekdays at 7:30 p.m. Stay on point Thursdays at 8 p.m. with our Business Current Affairs show and Weekend Business Report Saturdays at 7:30 p.m. wherever you are. Log on to our Facebook page at Business Access TV or visit our website at batvja.com. Live and at your fingertips. Business Access TV, serious about business.
Your business matters. Business Access TV offers you the most innovative and effective advertising solution for your business, specializing in B2B sales, cost-effective solutions, the customers you want, the repetition you need. No matter the size and nature of your company, your business matters.
Call us at 876-291-6233 or 876-376-4225. Email sales@batvja.com.
Career Moves has always explored interesting careers, highlighting all you may not have known about them. This season is no different.
Coming back to Jamaica, everyone's like, Fizzy what? Fizzy who?
When you find a bright boy or girl in the class and people say, what are you going to be? The parents say, you have to go be a doctor, you have to go be a lawyer. Nobody says you have to go be a politician.
Let me see your hands!
Tune in Tuesdays at 8 p.m. on Business Access TV.
Welcome back to Home Sweet Home. As you know, we're discussing the pros and cons of different types of residential units. At this time, we're located in the cool hills of Belvedere, talking townhomes, and we're joined by Coretta Houghton, Realtor Associate of Complete Realty Solutions. Hi, Coretta.
Hi, Shelley. Thanks for having me.
It's our pleasure. First and foremost, since we're talking townhomes, define a townhome for us.
Okay, so a townhome is a single-family dwelling house that usually spans over 2 floors and is divided from the adjoining unit by a wall. So the townhouses, they are governed by the Registration of Titles Act. However, in some developments, the proprietors are asked to sign a homeowners agreement by the Homeowners Association, and it's this agreement that provides the guidelines under which the community operates.
I see. And can you give us a difference? Can you compare the two associations for us? Or are they basically the same thing with different names?
They're one and the same because they're still enforcing the operations of the various developments.
All right, tell us the pros and the cons. Let's go with the pros first of buying a townhome as a first real estate purchase.
So, as a first real estate purchase, you probably consider your family size if you're opting to choose a townhouse. So it affords you your own backyard and front yard. Instead of parking in a communal parking, you're able to park at your door. Some townhouses, they even afford you the option of extending your property within, certain parameters. Even with the newer developments, you find that with that one maintenance fee, you're able to enjoy fully equipped gym, swimming pool. If you have a family, you have a recreational area. So your children, they pretty much get a ready-made space and friends are there,
Yes.
These luxury items have been added to the townhouses. The maintenance also covers security, and in addition to the structured organization offers security, you have your neighbors, so you have those extra pair of eyes that are watching out for you and your property.
Absolutely, and in the case where you have to travel, you have to leave your plants, you have to leave your pets, your neighbors might be able to chip in for you as well.
Yes, definitely.
Furthermore, townhouses may offer a little more privacy than apartments. And say your townhouse community doesn't have a certain amenity, owners can always pool their money to get desired facilities once there is space. Let's hear the possible disadvantages.
While you enjoy the luxury of living in a townhome, you also have to pay for it. So there is that maintenance cost that is going to keep your common areas looking clean and pristine, and you're going to have to pay for security, that added security and a peace of mind that comes with owning a townhome.
Restrictive covenants. Tell us how that affects the homeowner, what they can do, and the freedom that they have to alter their space on the external of the home and also on the interior as well.
Owners of townhouses are able to express their creative genius. This can only be done on the inside of their homes. The homeowner association have those guidelines, so you'll not be able to go and paint your house your favorite color. So there are guidelines within which that uniformity of the property, it holds the value of your house.
Absolutely. And what about limitations to personal space?
Well, that has to be factored in, but when comparing it to your, the benefits that you get, but your personality type has to be taken into consideration. So there are limitations. So if you're a person that entertains a lot, you understand, you have to be mindful of your neighbors.
Absolutely.
Keep the noise level down a bit, but I think the security and the pros trumps all the disadvantages.
All right, for persons in the real estate market looking for an apartment or a townhome, could you give us a little bit of guidance as to who would be perfectly suited to a townhome environment?
Townhomes are suited mainly on your preference. So we have young professionals that are just starting out, but they intend to expand their family in the future. So instead of getting an apartment, they opt to a townhouse, which affords a little more space usually. Townhouses are suited for families because they have their own yard, they have the space to interact and to enjoy more amenities because it's usually a bigger development.
I'm really enjoying our conversation here in cool Belvedere. It's really nice here at the Royal Suite. Tell us some of the amenities that can be found here.
So the Royal Suite, it boasts a playground, a pool, triple security, and an 8,000-gallon water tank. It even gets better inside. So now that we have seen outside, I know we're enjoying the lovely breeze. Let me just take you inside for you to see the magic that it is.
Sounds great. Let's do it.
Do you imagine our homeowner would be cooking up a storm in this lovely kitchen? So it boasts a lot of storage space. Our cupboards are made out of hardwood.
Yes.
As you can see.
Very nice, lots of storage.
Storage space. So for our backsplash, we have the lovely subway tiles that are on trend right now. And we have accentuated that with the granite countertop.
Tell us some more features of this wonderful home.
Okay, so Shelley, it's actually a 3-bedroom, 3-bathroom townhouse, all ensuite bathrooms. We have a helper's quarters, also fully outfitted. Then we have a powder room downstairs with a very large living and dining space.
And it's a contemporary space, very clean.
It is very clean.
Very impressive. Let's talk money. What price tag are we looking at here?
Well, Shelley, all of this can be yours for just $360,000 US.
I'll sign it up right away.
Yes, they're beautiful.
I love the height of the ceiling.
High ceiling, yes. It makes the room cooler.
Absolutely.
So Shelley, thank you for stopping by. As you can see, although our townhouse is not a standalone unit, it still offers quite a bit of privacy. You see that you're not chucked up to your neighbor, and you have all of this space, all of this luxury to just enjoy. Thank you for being here with me.
Curta, I must say a very big thank you for having us and telling us all the amenities here at Royal Suites and townhouses in general. I mean, we learned so much and it was very interesting information for persons in the real estate market. Thanks so much for being with us and giving us all this great info. And of course, stay with us. When we return, we're going to be looking at standalone units. You don't want to miss it.
Ready for cable for as little as $100? Ready for no monthly cable bill? Ready for 10 TV channels absolutely free? Then pick up our Ready TV box at authorized stores for $4,500. Hook it up to your TV set, then top it up with Ready Credit for 1, 7, or 30 days. Buy now and get $1,000 free Ready Credit and start watching your favorite shows. Pick it up, hook it up, top it up. Ready TV. Prepaid cable TV when you're ready. Now serving Kingston and St. Catherine. Limited time offer while stocks last. Conditions apply.
I'm Adam Stewart. This is Business Access TV, serious about business.
Welcome back to Home Sweet Home, where we're exploring the pros and cons of residential living. We've taken you to the apartments, we've explored a townhome, and now we're going to find out more about single-family units.
Hi, Shelley.
Thanks for having me.
You're welcome.
I'm super excited about finding out all I can about single-family units. I can't wait to go inside and see what you have in store.
Well, Shelley, one of the pros of having a single-family unit is to enjoy the yard space that it provides. So why not have a seat out here?
Sounds good. Let's do it. Sydney, I'm excited to get into the details. First of all, please define single-family home for me.
A single-family home is a standalone unit which provides privacy, land space, and the option to modify the property based on the restrictive covenants on the title.
We just saw some apartments and a townhouse. Could you compare the single-family unit to the apartments and the townhouse for us?
Okay, the difference between a single-family unit, an apartment, and a townhouse, Shelley, is that this apartment and the townhouse, it's governed under the Strata Titles Acts. So basically, maintenance, security, upkeep, once you pay a monthly fee, those services are allotted to you. With the house itself, you basically govern that property. So in terms of maintaining that property, maintenance and upkeep of that property is up to you, the owner.
Bear in mind that single-family units have no homeowners associations to deal with, tends to hold values longer if you're smart and buy in a good neighborhood, can have as many pets as you want, extend if there's space, and there's usually no special assessment surprises. All right, Sydney, would you like to share some pros of owning the single-family unit with us?
Can't stress privacy enough. Privacy. The unit is standing on, so you have space, you can walk around. We're sitting in the lawn. You can't do that within the apartment or the townhouse. You can play your music as loud as you want without disturbing your neighbors. You can plant trees, as you can see here. We don't have this in an apartment.
Absolutely.
Right?
You can have your own landscaping.
You can have your own landscaping. You can personalize your own landscaping. So with the house, you have a lot more option of personalizing it. With the apartment and the townhouse, there's not much modification. There's no modification actually that can be done to that unit. With the standalone unit, you have the option of doing your own modification to that property as long as it is within the restrictive covenants of the title. This property that we're at in Meadowbrook, it's a two-family unit. So it's good for investment where the homeowner can live in one part of the home, one part of the property, and the other part can be used as an investment.
Okay, so that way he can get additional income for rentals.
Which you can get additional income to help with your mortgage or
other expenses. And the townhouse and the apartments don't usually afford you this?
No, the apartment and the townhouse, it only can be used for one use at a time. So it's either you're going to use it for investment or you're going to live there as the owner.
Sydney, with all the benefits that you just mentioned of owning your single-family unit, it's so hard to imagine that there might be any disadvantages, but I'm sure there might be one or two. Would you care to share some?
Security can be costly at times because the owner will then have to do their own security or put in their own security measures. But you know, you have a standalone and you have your yard space, you can get 2 dogs, which in a way that would be a lot cheaper. With a home, maintenance and upkeep can be time consuming. The owner would have to maintain and upkeep that property, right? Repairs to the building. If the roof is leaking, you'll have to fix it. Electrical, you'll have to fix it. When you're modifying that property, you have to bear in mind that even though you may modify the property, you can't over-improve on that property because based on location, which is very important, you have to be mindful that when you modify that property, within a resale of that property, you can only get market value for it.
It's a great responsibility being a homeowner, yes?
Yes, it is.
On the downside as well, single-family dwellings are usually more expensive to buy, and it can be a longer commute from your workplace since standalone units are often in the suburbs than town centers. Is a single-family unit a good recommendation for a first-time homeowner?
Yes, Shelley. It depends on you, the person that is looking to purchase. There's a lot of factors that you have to take into consideration. For example, Shelley, we're at this lovely property in Meadowbrook. And as I mentioned before, it's perfect for investment. You basically can get a monthly income of $200,000 per month.
Fantastic. Tell me, Sydney, what does a property like this go for on the market?
Just a mere $29.5 million.
Million. Sydney, with all that great and insightful information, I'm curious to see what's on the inside. Let's go check it out.
Let's go.
This is a lovely home, well designed. I see lots of great design elements here and fabulous use of space. do love the depth of these stainless steel sinks, a very popular feature in more modern homes. Thank you so much, Sydney, for showing us around this beautiful single-family unit. I learned so much from you today. It was a pleasure having you.
It was a pleasure having you. Thank you.
Thank you, too. It's no secret that buying a home is probably the biggest investment you're ever going to make. So it's important to know what you'd be signing up for: apartment, townhouse, or single-family dwelling. In the end, the advantages must outweigh the disadvantages and be right for you and your lifestyle.
It's season 12, and Wealth Magazine Business Access is here to keep you business savvy. With an impressive mix of some of Jamaica's most inspiring business moguls, we continue to keep Jamaica informed, empowered, and ready to dominate. Tune in Sundays at 5 p.m. only on BATV.
You're watching
Business Access.
Business Access.
Business Access. Business Access TV.
Serious about business.
Have you seen it? It's BATV Live. Live streams of business news weekdays at 7:30 p.m. Stay on point Thursdays at 8 p.m. with our Business Current Affairs show, and Weekend Business Report Saturdays at 7:30 p.m. wherever you are. Log on to our Facebook page at Business Access TV or visit our website at batvja.com. Live and at your fingertips. Business Access TV. Serious about business.
Ready for cable for as little as $100? Ready for no monthly cable bill? Ready for 10 TV channels absolutely free? Then pick up our Ready TV box at authorized stores for $4,500. Hook it up to your TV set, then top it up with Ready Credit for 1, 7, or 30 days. Buy now and get $1,000 free Ready Credit and start watching your favorite shows. Pick it up, hook it up, top it up. Ready TV. Prepaid cable TV when you're ready. Now serving Kingston and St. Catherine. Limited time offer while stocks last. Conditions apply.
You're watching Business Access TV.
Business Access TV.
Business Access.
Business Access TV.
Serious.
Serious.
Serious about business.
Hello and welcome to Business Access Television's coverage of Roper Cup 2019. It's the annual football festival between Kingston College and St. George's College. We're coming to you from the Stadium East Field, where we will be bringing you highlights from an exciting day of football. I'm your host, Kenil Gale. Stick around. Joining me now to kick off our coverage is Dr. Patrick Dallas. He is the chair of the Roper Cup 2019 Organizing Committee. Dr. Dallas, thank you so much for joining us here on Business Access Television. How are you?
I'm fine, thank you, and you're most welcome. And thank you for being here to be part of this great football festival called Roper Cup.
All right, awesome. Let's start by telling our viewers a little bit about the Roper Cup. Give us some background in terms of the genesis of the Roper Cup and the reason the festival is so important to Kingston College and St. George's College.
Well, Roper Cup is symbolic of that friendly rivalry between two great institutions on North Street, Kingston College and St. George's College. This Roper Cup competition goes back to 1964. It's named after Father Jack Roper, who was a Jesuit priest at St. George's. And our founder of Kingston College, that is Percival William Gibson. He actually is a old boy of St. George's College. And we have managed to keep that link between two institutions. We are, we're rivals on the field, but we are very good friends. And the enduring part about Roper Cup and why we want this to continue is because it is important to show that we can be rivals and friends. So, as I said, it started 1964, so this is really the 56th renewal of the Europa Cup. And this year, Kingston College hosting. We alternate host for the Europa Cup competition. One of the important things about this year too, or one of the attractive thing about this year too, is that the final match, which is usually the Manning Cup match, is really a replay of last year's Manning Cup final. So we expect to get a lot of interest in this. We expect people to come out and see this as a dress rehearsal for the season that is coming up.
For the season that's coming up, which should be a renewal of the intense rivalry. But talk to me, you said the Manning Cup match will be ending the proceedings this evening. Talk to me about the other divisions that happened today.
Okay, we started with under 14, and Kingston College won that 4-1. We then had the under 16. The more things change, the more they remain the same. Kingston College won 4-1 again. Then we went into the under 35, and that was a 1-1 draw. And the over 35 ended again in the 2-2 draw. Well, it's interesting because the George Thompson Cup is decided on the aggregate score of the under 14 and under 16. And then the Europa Cup itself is decided on the under 35 and the Manning Cup scores, the aggregate scores. The Pancho Ranking Cup is the over 35. So that cup will be shared.
This is very significant to Kingston College and St. George's College boys, whether present or old boys. Just tell me why do you think it is so significant to the past students, the present students?
Yes, because this is two institutions that have great reputation in football, in tradition, and always strong teams. So we always see this as a last match before the real season begins, where we can use this match. Both teams see this as the opportunity where they have a final match before the competition starts against another strong team. So it's very important because both teams can use this to gauge where they are in the competition.
Joining me now is a man they call Coolie Pele. I'll allow him to tell you his right name.
Well, popularly called, and affectionately so I take no offense to it, Coolie Pele, but my given name is Derek Deniser, also called Shastri, from my Kingston College days. So it's Derek Shastri Deniser. And the fans call me all kind of things, whether they are rooting for me or against me. But I've learned at KC not to resist any names given to you, but to just smile and go on.
And with the KC St. George's College rivalry, they probably have called you a lot of things in the days, right?
Yes, a lot of things, affectionately so. And I've grown from when I was a player to a past player to now working with a company that sponsors the competition. And it's been friendly rivalry over the years. The Europa Cup is really the longest traditional feud or rivalry between high school at the football level. And we welcome it every year. The St. Georgians look forward to it. They tease us, they say our headmaster went there and the cup is named after a Georgian. And we tell them that they may be twice as old as us, but we are twice as good as they are.
Talk to me about the importance of the Europa Cup in building not just the rivalry, but the brotherhood between these gentlemen going to these schools.
Well, the rivalry is very important. These are two great traditional institutions, and the tenets and principles that they uphold and have dear to their heart, we try to transmit that to the wider society. Honesty, character, good building, rivalry and sport, yes, but the aim of Bishop Gibson was to build good men for the wider society so that all of us in the end can benefit. Education is paramount, but then physical activity, a good healthy body with a good healthy mind are as well for the success of the society.
Talk to me about moving from being a player to being a national player to now being involved with the organization and sponsorship of the Europa.
Well, you move on as with age, you are not able to do what you would like to do physically, but mentally you still have a desire so to do. But not being able to do it, we impart it to the young and upcoming youngsters who I was like them once, and we try to tell them that one day they'll be like us. God willing, they live forever. And to live not only for today, but to live with eternity in view, what we do and say now, and the principles and the values that we are teaching them. These are values that on the road of life, they can guide them and they avoid pitfalls and make the best of their best situation. But primarily for the youngsters still in school, the rivalry is intense. As you know, with age and memories, it diminishes, but the values that we hold there, that never diminishes.
Talk to me about coming on as a sponsor. Why did Qualcare decided to come on as a sponsor for the Europa Cup?
Well, Qualcare, it's a quality product, and we wanted to introduce the drink to the athletic population. It's a good quality drink. In trust is nutrition you can trust, and that is where our interest is. It's primarily Qualcare, the parent company, is primarily a pharmaceutical company. But you know, they say an ounce of prevention is better than a pound of cure. And with good nutrition, you can, delay the onset of illnesses that would otherwise occur. So in trust, nutrition you can trust. And Qualcare is proud to be associated with the Europa Cup.
KC has done pretty well so far in the other divisions that have gone so far, with the over 35 still happening now and the Manning Cup matches to come. Who are you betting on?
Well, I'm not a betting man. My heart is with Kingston College, unapologetically so. But more important is for the fraternity, the St. George's and the KC fraternity, to come together, have a good time. I say at the launch, the organizer of this year's competition said it's unparalleled or unheard of anywhere else in the world. Not only Jamaica, where two such great institutions are less than 100 meters apart, and that is Kingston College on the southern side and St. George's on the northern side. But we are two great institutions and we work well together, not only in sports, but also in Labor Day we do joint projects together, pedestrian crossings, and activities that are not necessarily in the limelight, but are just as important as building friendship and friendly rivalry.
So it's more than just rivalry, it's brotherhood.
Yes, of course, because in the end when we leave school, we have to live with each other, and both institutions, our primary aim is to build good gentlemen with sound manners and know how to cooperate with each other, and that should augur well for the wider society.
Joining me now to talk a little bit about his match is the MVP from the under 35 division of the competition, Sanjay Mathura. He plays for St. George's College. Sanjay, welcome to Business Access Television. How are you doing?
I'm alright, thanks for having me.
Alright, great. Tell us a little bit about your match today.
Well, my match was very competitive, sun was hot and an enjoyable game.
You scored the goal, so you were the MVP. That makes you feel a little special, right?
Yeah, very special, because it was a wonderful goal, awesome goal from the top of the 18, watching the ball go into the top corner, so it was a very special moment.
What does playing in the Europa Cup means to you as an individual player?
Well, I always display a lot of passion for the blue and white, so it's always good rivalry with KC, although we're brothers across the street, but it's a great deal of history and a lot of football games between each other and very competitive games, glory and defeat, so it means a lot.
Do you think the rivalry between Kingston College and St. George's College makes each team stronger?
Definitely, it makes each team stronger because each year, one winning, one losing or drawing, everybody learns from it and we move forward in our competition.
If somebody is asking why, because you're in the under 35 division, and I figure when you become over 35, you will want to still be playing. For those who are asking, why do you continue to do this?
Well, it's the love of the game, the passion and the love for your school, and you come out and have fun on this day, you come to Stadium East or if it's at George's, and you just come out and have fun, and you see old friends from way back when. It's just fun.
So it's a day of building brotherhood and camaraderie and all of that?
Yes, year after year, because it's already there. So it's just year after year continuing the structure and everything that's good about this day and the Europa Cup.
You played several Europa Cups. Tell me, what was one of your most memorable moments over the years?
Well, I'll definitely remember this one because I scored, but there's so many moments I could go on and on to tell you. But there's a lot of good Europa Cups that I've been through.
This event epitomizes what true spirit of friendly rivalry is about. And we hope that the camaraderie between the right side of North Street and the other side of North Street will continue.
We take a break here on Business Access Television's coverage of Roper Cup 2019. More when we return.
Business recovery and turnaround services. Dodge & Global will assist you to achieve the best possible outcomes for troubled companies, shareholders, and other stakeholders. Organizations can quickly find themselves hovering on the brink of failure, but with the right early intervention and a constructive approach, it can be possible to achieve a